Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to you by
AmericanAirandHeat.com. If your air conditioner went out this summer, you know it's miserable because it's so damn hot.
It's
ridiculous.
super hot. And the last thing you want to do is what happened to us. You got guests coming over. You've got, listeners that are coming over to watch the show, and what happens? Yeah. Your system shits out. And now you have no air, and you have a show to do. Yeah. Well, imagine that with your family, and you're trying to sleep, and it's going to be a nightmare.
And by the way, if you do have that problem, American Air, it's a $90, 24/7, whatever. They're not going to upcharge you over the weekends or
you pay the
late
money,
night.
And they're coming out.
Yeah, it does shit out they'll come by and check out, and they'll give you a complete system diagnosis for $90. And if you do have any repairs, they'll take $50 off if you use them. But get that preventative maintenance. It's only $74.95, 24-point preventative maintenance. Do it now because it's going to be hot for a little bit. It's
funny because
be hot till freaking December.
I kind of theme today's show is like the end of summer. We're playing some sexy reggae. We're easing ourselves out of
kids
the summer.
Are back to school next week.
It's going to be the summer for 3 more months. So we're in Florida, so you gotta.
It's not getting cooled down anytime soon.
No, I mean I'm kidding myself by saying summer is ending. No, it's going to still be just as hot as it was, in the beginning of August.
Also, if your electric bills are sky high, it's probably because you have an old system. If your system's over 10 years old,
efficient, man.
It's probably due for a whole new system. They've got 36 months, no interest financing available if you get a complete new system, and that'll probably save you money in electric bill. Like, the payments will be cheaper than your electric bill is right now with an old system that's running all the time, and you got crazy high electric bills.
I save a ton of money with a new system.
Yeah, 100%. I'm due for one anytime. In fact, I'm going to call them probably before the end of the summer. Anyway, it's AmericanAirandHeat.com. Give them a call. It's family-friendly service. That's American Air and Heat.
Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan. Whoopee!
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 533.
Hey guys, we're shaking.
Hi.
What's going on?
You had a rough morning, didn't you, or no?
No, wasn't that rough? It was Tommy's kindergarten orientation, like meet the teacher thing.
Nice. How'd he do?
It was fine.
So you show up with a gift card, right? Immediately.
Yeah, the bribery. I'm going to talk to Dan and Lynze about that.
That's what you do.
Well, I screwed up. I forgot to do all that. Then I panicked, and
forgot a lot of things, apparently.
I
got a message from Her Majesty's Services this morning saying, where's Tom? He's supposed to be at his house. We're doing a walkthrough.
Yeah, we were getting texts like crazy here. And then I was texting you, but the texts were turning green, which is how I know you either have your phone turned off or you didn't plug it in last night.
No.
Really? It was good? Were you getting my texts? They were turning green, so I was like, oh, something's wrong.
I wasn't getting anybody's texts, which is weird.
What's wrong with your phone?
Yeah, it is cracked. I did drop it.
Your
brand new one? Yeah. But I got insurance on it. Anyway, I did show up at the school, and then I was like, welcome class 2032. And I was like, what the hell was that? And then I was like, boom! That's when he's going to graduate high school. And then it blew my goddamn
mind. Why did they
mind.
put that on there?
Oh, that's the worst.
Why remind me of that?
Insta tears.
Yeah,
Did moms cry?
Well, she didn't realize this is how dumb me and my wife are. We're like 2032. They got that wrong.
These fucking idiots got the number wrong. It's 2019, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
We're the real Swamp Tom Vans.
Yeah. And so then...
what have we been calling ourselves? Swamp Clowns. We're Swamp Clowns.
Swamp Clowns.
Yeah, do you want to be a Swamp Clown? Sorry, you can't be it. Can't be it. You're too smart and too good looking.
Swamp Clown.
You'll never be a Swamp Clown. You're too educated.
So I'll introduce our guests. Dan and Lynze Cummins is here. How you guys doing?
Thanks for having us.
Dan's going to be at the Improv on tonight and tomorrow, and then on Sunday, me and Daniel are going to be doing a live Timesuck with Dan Cummins.
Yes.
We did it last year. This year is a new topic, so get your tickets. I know a lot of people have been buying tickets, so they will be sold out. So I'd get them as soon as possible.
I think the topics, I figured it took me a little bit to figure out how to kind of do it too. I mean, it's like, I think the one I did with you guys before was maybe the third, fourth, something like that I had done live. And I was just picking one for each kind of, show. It'd be like a new topic. And I realized that was just too much. So now I kind of tour on one for a while, the live show.
Yeah.
So you can figure it out because it's so different than like the regular show. It's way more pictures. And I picked something that's just more kind of, I don't know, suited for a live show. Like some topics we do definitely are dark. This one's very fucking dark.
All right.
Favorite.
Should I bring my serial killer glass?
Yes!
Ooh, you wear them the whole time.
Yeah, 'cause
I'll
it's
wear
a
them
cult
the
leader.
whole-
It's about a cult leader. So.
I don't want people to think I'm cool,
excited.
though.
No, we can address it. We can address it at the top.
I didn't buy these to be cool. I bought
Dan's
these.
wearing his cult leader sunglasses.
Yeah, I bought these, so I don't know why I bought these.
Maybe you could channel
awesome?
Rock Terrio, who's going to be the cult leader we're talking about, this Anthill Kids guy, and then I could just ask you because he's. Well, I don't want to give too many things away.
Yeah, don't.
But, okay.
And I'm not going to do any research because I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, I just I know the idea.
I can't wait to see your guys' faces. That's what I'm really excited.
This is
I want
right
to see
up
your
my
guys'
alley.
faces on a few of the moments that I know are going to come up, just to see how horrified you are.
I love it.
I love it. And also, I was going to talk about cult leaders for a second. You've done a lot of research on them and a lot of different ones. Like me and Dan have always been fascinated with starting a cult, and we came
Kind
up
of did.
We came up with this idea of a
It's
BDM
just not-
infinity.
But it's not as intense as I want.
Right.
You're I don't get to fuck anybody. I don't get to murder anybody. Yeah.
That's where I draw the line.
On the fucking or the murder? Oh, the fucking.
The fucking.
Well, you're doing the fucking. You're not
Hello,
getting
buzzkill.
Yeah.
Right? Taking all the dick sucking fun out of the whole goal.
I bought these glasses. I bought a cheap acoustic guitar.
Right.
You're telling me I can't fuck anybody?
Right.
Oh, fuck. I'll settle this shit back.
Dan,
Well,
Stupid.
If I get to fuck people,
That's not how it works when you're a cult leader.
yeah.
Do you know anything? The leader fucks everyone.
Yeah.
And nobody else gets to do anything.
so the co-leader.
No.
And there are no girl
out.
cult leaders. Sorry.
Well,
sorry, but
you have-
I don't
right.
think cult
Nope.
leaders are ever going to be progressive.
Nope.
And I think that's okay.
You have to take the role of the put upon wife. That's what's happening to the cult leader. That's how it always pivots. The cult leader has the wife, and she's cool for a while, and we're
or
helping
she's a
people.
good wingman for a hot minute.
Well, no, just a part of because it's never about fucking at first.
You make excuses
Yeah.
for him to the other girls that are being
Right.
abused.
right. Well, initially there's always this thing where
Just stick with it, and eventually he'll marry you.
it's about spirituality, or it's about preparing for the end of the world or something, and that's where we're like a team together. But then at some point, when everyone's sold their houses and are living out in the woods, that's when I get a voice from God that tells me, "Hey, new plan."
Hey, new plan.
You can't start out
Exactly how he says it.
super aggro.
Right.
You gotta
Right.
ease into all of a sudden multiple wife
I
scenario.
gotta put the sacrament stick in a lot of sin holes.
I like that.
I gotta start.
Dan,
I like that.
is it-
And then you start with the glasses, you move the guitar, and then you open a back room, and what's in there? A bunch of guns. More than you've ever. It's like an Apple store of guns.
And then the people are like, "Why so many guns?" They're like, "They're gonna come and get me." You're like, "They're
Yeah.
coming."
Yeah.
Now, does a cult leader always have some religious overtones to them? Because it always seems like the followers either
It's like
think
Not
a belief
always.
system, not necessarily a religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not that-
Usually because that's
Yeah.
what pulls people in. But it can be like a belief system that people don't always consider religious. religion. Like it can be like more New Age.
Yeah.
You know, there's some New Age ones, and then even like Heaven's Gate was more extraterrestrial. It was a little biblical, but you know, and then
I enjoyed that one.
The Heaven's Gate. They're my favorite.
That one.
He's the sweet. Marshall Applewhite is like the sweetest one to me. Where it's like he wasn't trying to fucking. He actually was advocating chemical castration so that you wouldn't be trying to sleep with other members. And he's like, don't even worry about sex. He was just super into aliens.
And then
like,
you get a suit and you get sneakers.
Yeah. You got to bring your quarters.
You're all about the fashion.
For the spaceship.
I'm a bit of
fashionista.
I set some trends.
I like it.
And they would let you leave. The Heaven's Gate one, that like if you didn't want to be part of going to the spaceship, they're like, all right, it's cool.
I didn't agree with that.
Bounce out.
I mean, you can leave. But
Did they really let you leave, or was that just like, hey, then you try to open the doors?
Isn't that website still up?
Yep, and you can. And I've emailed them, and they email you back.
What?
Because I did.
What do they say?
I wish I talked to. It's been a while, but I tried to like fish them a little bit, and I felt bad because I thought they were going to be kind of horrible. But I wrote this lengthy email about how committed I was to their message, and it's like I've read all the things.
Oh, wow, you're dancing with the devil, man.
Oh yeah, and I'm really in. I referenced their stuff, and then I just said, I'm planning on killing myself soon to join the spaceship. Like, when do I need to do it? How? And then they got back right away, and they're like, no. Don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it. You can't. And then they had this. They're very anti that. They're like, nah, sorry, spaceship left, and so don't kill yourself.
Well, how the fuck do I get back on the spaceship?
They have a whole
section
section called "Our Position Against Suicide."
Right.
They're very.
When is the next spaceship?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me check.
When's the next spaceship?
And is my experience going to be different now that I didn't kill myself and they killed themselves? Are they getting a better spaceship experience than me on the spaceship? And
because they were on the inaugural trip.
That's what I'm saying. They were like on the big cruise ship, and then we're like, we get the shitty, now that it's
the dinghy
commercialized.
That'd be hilarious if there's like waves and eventually it's just like anything. Like at first, like the people working on the spaceship are like so excited for the new people, and then after a while, they're just like on their phones when you show up. You killed yourself. Like, yeah, you're going to be in section 4. And Jesus is in room 3, and
then they're all 4, and you're like, where did these people kill themselves from?
This is weird.
They're all from Thailand.
Can I have another Guy Fieri burger, poolside burger, please? Extra pickles.
Dan, have you found that all cult leaders, because it seems like just from documentaries that I've watched and whatever, what was that one on Netflix, like the sex cult? It was it the
Rajneeshis?
Yeah, maybe those guys.
What was that called? Wild Country?
Wild Country, yeah. And it seemed like when it started, it all started with the right reasons, and like the person,
almost always, well, not almost, but a lot of them do. Yeah, a lot of them do.
And then it slowly morphs into something dark. Have you found that like
that's almost always the arc? Because sometimes I don't think that a lot of the cult leaders initially go into it like, oh, I'm gonna get so much puss. Like, I don't think that's the initial like drive.
Yeah.
I think they have some crazy like spiritual thing, and then once they realize that like all these people are gravitating towards them, and then there's like a lot of young girls. I think it like more like, okay, let's see how far I can take it.
I was gonna save everybody and take them to the promised land, but there's some good puss in here.
Well, and like Jim Jones,
well, you can't say no.
So it's like a secondary thing, and then they become distracted to the saving humanity or saving at least their own group of humans.
Right. Well, it's probably like the Catholic priests. It's like at first it's like I'm gonna help, and they're like, these boys are pretty sexy.
Have you listened to all the Jim Jones tapes? Have you listened to all this?
No. I have.
Oh, I have too.
I've listened to the death tape where they die at the end. It's rough.
Bad. I like to go into my daughter's room and go, Alexa, play the Jim Jones tape. And then I just walk out.
Alexa, play the Jim Jones.
I just pull the door. She has her own Alexa now, and now she says her own stuff.
God.
Like her first thing to Alexa, she's like, Alexa, why do cats meow? And then it like gave her, was like, this is why cats make, and it was just gave her a whole
I would love it
rundown.
if she used Alexa as like a therapist to talk about you.
Oh no, you don't
Alexa, why is my dad so frustrating today?
This is brilliant. I get all the dumb questions from my son. They should be asking a robot.
But your wife's never gonna put one in her room. We're weirdo parents. Our daughter's gonna be way worse of a human than your kids are. Your little boys are gonna be so sweet and so sheltered and loving, and Maisie's gonna be a hardened old bitch. Just an old, nasty. She might be a female cult leader.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's what I'm going for.
Has there been any female cult?
Not all the
Kind, not like there's one in Washington actually right now. It's in Yelm, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, what is the name? There's people like Teal Swan, who is she's not like living out on a compound, but she's very much like has a cult following and does like retreats where people spend exorbitant amount of money to listen to her teachings, and she's completely fucking insane. She's none of the things she's saying is real. And then there's a lady in. Yeah, I wish I could remember her name, but it's in Yelm, Washington, and it's an active. There is a compound. There is people living on there. She, it's so ridiculous. The video. She claims to. She can channel this ancient Indian spirit, and it's so cringeworthy.
Tom and Samantha said that for years around here.
It's so cringeworthy. She will there's these videos, and she used to be more on like Maury Povich type shows, like when she was younger.
Not the cult leader,
but she's like this blonde soccer mom looking lady, and then she'll channel this spirit, and she'll start do like a character. It's like Apu from The Simpsons. It's awkward as shit.
Wait a minute. So she does racist voices?
Oh yeah,
weird.
Hold on, as a character.
Hold on a second. Hey man, hey, let me hold $1. Is that all you got to do to get out of it? Is that all you have to do?
She does this crazy.
I'm not racist.
Our followers are laughing. Like, I shouldn't be laughing about this.
She'll nod off at this when she channel. It's so ridiculous. I've seen her like on old again, like Montel Whitmore type shows, those type of things, and she'll channel
Sylvia Brown.
Is that with the
older lady?
No, not the psychic.
Oh, okay.
We just talked about not Sylvia. It's Yelm. It's some kind of extraterrestrial. Oh man, I want to look it up now. But
somebody in the chat room will snag it.
But she'll like nod off. And like and then she'll wake up, and then she'll like act like she's this new person, and then she'll be like, "How have you been doing today? Are you for resident today? I will talk to you about the spirit." Like I'm like, "What are you?" And people are like, "Ah, this seems legit."
Going full short circuit. What was that?
Great reference.
But so, do you think
if you're joined the cult, you must not use credit card to a $10 per transaction?
Okay, Dan.
Fuck, man. All I want is one tall boy.
Under your best estimation, are these guys? Okay, I'm sure it's a wide variety, but are they insane? Do they know? Do they believe what they're doing is real? Like, do they actually believe they are psychic or like channeling some other person or spirit? Like they're closer to God than everybody else? Or and how many are like totally bullshit? Like they know they're bullshit and they're doing this for the be a cult leader.
Man, I mean, I wish there was like psychological studies done, on these guys, because they haven't really been studied. Well, it's tough with these guys because they haven't really been studied, and the ones I'm sure if they were studied, they're probably such sociopaths that they wouldn't give honest answers to kind of questions. Fair. They wouldn't tell you the real motivation. Yeah. But it seems to be that most of them were raised in uber religious houses, almost all of them.
Okay,
and so they're very like David Koresh had most of the Bible memorized. Like he was, a lot of these people like very
guilty.
Strong. Okay, very strong knowledge.
A lot of it.
Very strong knowledge of religion.
Thing's starting to make some sense over there, Dan.
Hey, I'm heading down the road.
And they tend to come from like certain kind of like tends to be Christian, but like Seventh-day Adventists, where it's a faction of Christianity where they're open to modern prophets, essentially. Okay. So they're open. So they believe growing up that you can talk to God directly. You can be one of God's prophets, and so maybe a little mental illness. But I think you kind of hear what you want to hear sometimes. They seem to really be convinced on some level that they are who they claim.
Gotcha.
And then I think it's just a lot of rationalization. It's they have some sinful urge or lust, some, and then it's like, well, I really want to have sex with this lady, but according to my scripture, I'm not supposed to with this. But I also think I'm talking to God, and man, that would sure be nice if God were to tell me that I could. And then they kind of
rationalize. Maybe God can help me reinterpret the scripture, right? Like you can use that, right? You could justify it that way.
Well, and there's biblical precedent. That's a lot of things too. It's like in the Old Testament, I mean, these kings and everything, they did have a lot of wives. Like polygamy is all over the Bible.
Yeah.
So it's like they come from that, and then it's an easy justification.
And from studying the Bible, I'm sure they're seeing what kind of has worked because the Bible has been written over so many years. Like they figured out like, these are the things that work to get people in, and so they're reading that and they're like, oh, okay, I could just morph this into something similar to get my followers in on it, just like this. It's like
right. Yeah, I wonder if they have that kind of like analytical approach, or if they're not, or if they have that self-awareness. Or if they're like, you ever just met somebody who's super self-assured, they know everything, even if they don't. You know, there's never.
I'm right to be a poll leader.
That was just for the Twitch viewers. I wasn't going to say this.
But if you take that personality type and put it in a very religious thing, and then I don't know.
Look, with the way he combs his hair now, here, put my glasses on.
See, Tom's just missing religion.
Put those on. You want to see a young Jim Jones? My God, look at that.
Okay.
He looks super extra creepy in those.
Hold on, let me put your camera. Look
I don't
right
know
in the
why.
camera.
He
looks like a young Jim Jones.
I'll convince you to follow me.
Don't look at me with those glasses on.
It really fucks with Sam. Like, we put him on yesterday, and Sam's like, stop! Yeah, look at it. Like a young Jim Jones.
Perfect.
So, Dan, I don't want to jump into it, but since we're already talking about
but should we do the shot first?
Yeah.
To kick off the day? Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Dear.
We're going to do it.
We have a whole intro.
Daniel got high and created a game. Daniel got high and created a game. Daniel got high and created a game.
Okay, you guys ready?
This is game show no one asked for. It's called Vodka or Notka.
All right.
What is this now? Happy Friday.
It's the game show you knew you didn't love. Wait, what?
You didn't ask for it.
You didn't ask for it. It's called Vodka or Notka.
All right.
Where we're gonna. I've got 2 cups in front of everybody in the room except for me, because I'm my dumb game. So you've got 1 and 2. One of the cups in front of you has real vodka in it. The other cup has. I bought this at 7-Eleven this morning. We've talked about this on the show before.
Lord.
This is the finest of Stroysky Russian-style premium grape wine with natural flavors added.
No, okay, so it's
42
it's like
proof.
A vodka substitute.
Yeah, vodka substitute.
Or imitation.
Am I cheating by sniffing them? Is that allowed?
No, that's allowed.
Siberian hobos' tears.
Yeah, so if this was a science experiment, what I did determine is that everyone will judge you if you buy this for $1.99 at a 7-Eleven at 7:30 in the morning, because they think I'm like, oh, he's late, he's going to his daughter's orientation at school, and he's got to stop his hands from shaking. So he bought this little jug of wine, and so go ahead and at this moment, I would like for everybody to taste one. You don't have to shoot it all.
What's the other vodka?
It's Tito's. I didn't cheap out on you guys.
Tito's or this?
Tito's or Stroysky Russian-style premium grape wine with natural flavor added.
Should we comment on what the smell is first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
I would say number 1 smells like rubbing alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, number 1 smells like.
I might have thrown a curveball in there.
Little grape.
Oh, you added some rubbing alcohol.
I didn't.
For extra flavor.
Just don't. If you wake up and I've got my glasses on and I'm nude, everybody be cool, bro.
All right, I'm gonna
this might be part
let's
of my
go for
plan.
it. Let's all taste number 1.
All right, so number 1.
There's pictures of me on the internet. All of you passed out. I'm standing nude on a pile of bodies.
That's
Was that bad?
okay.
All right. Was it bad?
It
wasn't that bad.
I didn't think number 1 was that bad.
It wasn't as bad as I wanted it to be because it smells terrible.
Okay. Everybody.
Definitely a bigger shot.
That's one. Now
number
go
2.
and now go with number 2, and let's see how many people. The winner, by the way, of this contest,
a palate cleanser.
the winner of this game wins a custom-made.
Oh, I know this. I know which one's
A winner gets a custom-made Travis Butler creation. He made the first of the Truth 30 jack-off boxes.
I almost just vomited in my mouth. I swear to God.
Oh, really? You did?
So intense.
I know. I think
That was a
pretty
big
positive.
shot, and I really let it sit on my tongue to taste it. That was a bad idea.
Never let it sit in your tongue.
No, never. That's the first rule of cold eating: is never let it sit in your tongue. All right, who wants to go first with their guess?
I got it.
I think Dan. He's our guest. Dan Cummins is here. Okay,
2 Tito's, 1 7-Eleven.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration. We'll let everybody else go before I reveal the answers. Tom, would you like to weigh in on this?
I'm just going to go contrarian to Dan just because.
Why would you do that? He's our guest.
Because I feel like he knows.
Good job, Dan. You got it. You know.
I'll go that 1 is Tito's, 2 is the shit one.
Samantha?
I'm going to agree with Dan here, just because the first one almost had zero flavor. There was a hint of grape it tasted like.
Grape?
So
Yeah, not much flavor.
Yeah, not much flavor. Watered down vodka.
Butler, did you do this?
Yeah. I got to be a good salesman. I got to go with my boss. Tom.
Wow, this guy. Yeah. You know why this guy's being extra nice to Tom is because he spent 2 hours making a jack off box that's in our lobby. He had a ton of other things to do, but what is he out there with a saw? He's got a fucking a bread knife. He's cutting your jack off holes. He's like, should I put armholes? Is that off-putting?
When I walked in this morning, I saw it. I was like, God damn it!
There's a list of things that he should have been doing, but he even put, it says, what does it say? It says a Travis Butler jack-off box, and then it says...
It's a Butler technology. It's for an unbeatable experience.
For an unbeatable experience.
Hello, Shark Tank.
You just look through the visor.
Yeah, well, first of all, they put me in it. They put me in it. I'm too short to see out the fucking eye hole. You should have made a jack-off box junior.
I got a step stool in there for you.
You should have made a junior version, or at least have it cuttable like prison sandals, so I can cut the bottom off and cut to fit.
I'm picturing you selling that on Shark Tank right now, and Mark Cuban's eyes just
he's in on it.
Lynze, Queen of Suck, would you like to weigh in on this?
So you said you think one is Tito's?
No. I think one is the 7-Eleven Stolsky.
Oh yeah, I'm with.
Yeah, Strolsky.
I'm on Team Cummins.
Like Strohs.
I'm waiting for the inappropriate Polish joke about.
Oh yeah, the ski.
Yeah.
Right. That would have been too easy. I thought about doing that. I thought about calling my wife and you're Polish too, and I was
like the president of
Poland.
That's like the best thing Poland's ever done.
I'm waiting for it. Get it out of your
president
system.
of Poland, actually by hand, is doing this. I do good thing for people. I don't know why he has a Russian. I don't know why he has a Russian accent.
He's excited he can make vodka out of grapes. You're like, no.
That's not how it works.
Are you going to defer to your husband? And
I am on his side.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Cummins is absolutely correct.
All right.
And then I'll do my fireball.
So do we get a jerk off box?
You do, Dan. You win.
I get a jerk off in the box.
You get the jerk off in the break. Okay.
Turn the visor towards the wall.
If you want to do that, I'm going to respectfully ask you to go into our courtyard.
Can I wear the glasses while I jerk off?
Absolutely. I think you must. I think it's a must.
It's shaking like crazy.
If I do that, then it's God's will.
Baldwin's going to kick us out of here so quick.
The only other thing that is going to be a little awkward, but much like Let's Make a Deal, you guys have to take the box home on the plane. It's like winning a goat when you get zonked. You have to take it. So Butler, go ahead and get the tax form out. Let me fill that out before he leaves. I mean, we're on a big game show here.
We'll give you a luggage tag.
Actually, I would love it if you had to take that on the plane.
Oh my God.
Because coming here, he was wearing a T-shirt that says, "Do you even cult, bro?"
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram.
I kept forgetting I was wearing it. People were looking at me weird. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah.
I didn't forget because I was walking next to you the whole time. People would look at you and then look at me like, "Are you okay?"
I learned twice. Ask me about human trafficking.
Oh, my God.
All those human trafficking signs in the bathroom. I'm like,
"Are you sure?"
What, ask me about human trafficking? I mean, I'll do it. It's not going to sell. And I'm going to get a lot of hate mail.
Educate people on it, right?
When you get to the ticket counter, you just put a blanket over her head like a parrot. She's asleep now.
My T-shirt says I bought her fair and square.
Yeah.
I paid good money for her.
So, since we're already talking about some topics, I went through some back time sucks that you've done, and I'm sorry to do this every time you come here, but I know
tell our show about your show.
I say this every time I'm here, but it's always true. Where it's like, yeah, you guys gave me the push to get it going. You know?
Dude.
So yeah.
And I was thinking about
congrats on still crushing it top 50 all the time, man. Yeah. Top 30.
Been so lucky. It's like a lot of times I don't really reflect on how much it's changed everything because I am just pretty much always on my laptop, just like looking at weird, got to get the episode ready. And then every once in a while, you have a couple days where I'm like, oh yeah, this is the thing now. We have people in our office, and it's just weird moments of like, oh, this is pretty cool.
This
very lucky.
It's really cool, dude. Well, you do a good job at it, so why wouldn't it succeed?
I take it very seriously because I get worried. On so many episodes, I'm like, what are people going to? I don't want to let that worry dictate not being me.
Yes,
on the
yeah,
show.
we do it all the time.
Yeah, but I can tell that I care a lot, because it's like I know people are really it's a different kind of pressure where it's like now that there's more people listening or people that are really invested, it's just that thing of like you don't want. I'm sure you guys understand. Like you don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
You don't.
It's like you just feel like
and sometimes you do,
job.
and you will.
Yeah, that's human nature.
And then you get bummed out. Like we have shows in here, but we've been real open now with BDMs, especially when we do BDM shows, like on the OG show. We have like our meetings now. We kind of just like we're real with them. We're just like, yeah, we did that. That fucking sucked. We did that. That was great. Do you guys want more of this? What do you know? And
that's awesome.
It's more fun to do it that way, but I don't think we'll ever be completely satisfied with anything.
But that's good. That's good. Because I notice like when comedy, just anything, when you meet people. Whenever I've seen a comic who comes, just use that as just because that's my only reference area, always come off the stage and basically have this attitude of like, fucking crushed.
I've never said that about anything I've ever
either. I've never walked off a single show out of the thousands I've done and be like, yeah, that couldn't get any better.
My daughter was born, and some people say she's so cute, she's so beautiful. And I'm like, it don't matter. I mean, the hair's a little thin, a little mouthy, little taller. Nose is a little big like mine.
I do like those guys because they do exist. Where you come off stage, you're like, these people are lucky they saw that. Like what?
Right?
They're like, how do you have that much confidence?
No, but the people I tend to like that I think are doing good are always a little worried because that's what motivates them to get better.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love hearing that from you guys, and just I love the care you guys have with your fans because I've taken that from you guys too. Just that hyper awareness of, like they allow us to do what we do, and so it's. But some people will never check in with them that way. Some people are like, whatever, the fuck do this. They can like it or not. It's like, well, if they don't, you don't get to keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen it, and that's a big thing. And like
turning your back on your core is something that we've seen firsthand.
Yeah,
really
in terrestrial radio, and not in podcasts because it seems like everybody. Like I see a lot of different podcasts.
Guys, by and large, give more fucks.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's the you have a direct relationship with your audience instead of the separation from working for a big corporation. Like you work for a big corporation and there's a separation you have from the people who support you. Where we've seen it back when we worked in radio. Like there was the quintessential tagline that everybody said is like, thank you very much to our listeners. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this. But they don't believe that for real. Like because you're just like, it doesn't matter. You work for a giant corporation. The corporation pays you, so really your allegiance is to the corporation, not to the people. And I think when you have your own business, a podcast, especially when you don't work for anybody, you're like, oh shit, the people are my boss. These people are who I care about.
It's so
pure. It's so pure.
Yeah.
On your social, I see you guys do it. It's like, Dan, my file at the 20 whatever mark. I heard something, and you're like, I'll get on it. I'm right on it. Like I see you guys do it. That's what we do.
Right.
Like 2 days ago, we had a guy like, where's ACT? From 2 nights ago or whatever, and they're like, well, we're waiting on the pre-roll that we should have been in there, and I was like, I got it. I'm running to the studio to send that thing to get it done. I mean, it's kind of exciting too.
Yeah. It is. There's a lot of I feel like we need like rubber bands in our office that say like, what would Tom and Dan do?
No, don't do that.
There is a lot of that though, because it's
Well, you guys have a rare thing where it's like
that's so special.
And it's still, I love seeing like it just keeps evolving every time.
So inspiring.
Come down
look
here
at our statue. I can't show it on camera, but this I'm going to have somebody make that into me.
Oh my God! Of you and
Tom. Yeah, this is Hercules.
Is Tom upside down, or are you?
I'd like to think that I'm doing the grabbing in this one. This is called foul play. Magnificent example of early Greek mythological gods Hercules and Diomede engaged in a classic struggle for dominance.
Nice.
Yeah, back in the day when you wrestled with a man, you put your hand on my thing, and I'll put my hand on your thing, and you flip me upside down. We'll see who's stronger.
I was thinking
How
about
much money for you to pose with me like this?
What, nude? I'd grab it.
Real. Look.
$87.
Wow, that's a market specific.
That's how much money I lost in preseason gambling last night.
What'd you bet on the Dolphins or Falcons?
No. It's it was other things.
Why are you gambling on preseason football?
Oh yeah, the biggest edge. I'll teach you about that later.
Is this why you forgot about your
got the biggest edge? Lost $100. All right, teach me about it, Grandpa. I can't wait.
So I'm glad you brought this up because I was thinking about this the other day, and there's when you Dan, first came to us and we're talking about podcasting and stuff, and you were telling us an idea. Like, I feel everybody should help out everybody else. Like, I feel like in any like either entertainment world or like a media world or whatever you're doing, if someone comes to you and like, hey, what are you like? You should always give up that information, because what's in it for you not to?
Right.
Because it used to be back in the day. It used to be like, hey, I'm not gonna like, and especially I know a reference radio.
I will
a lot,
never
but,
give my secrets.
But like people that ran the board used to never like to teach anybody else how to do it, because they thought they were teaching like someone to take their job.
Oh, it was always an old board op joke, because that was like my world. So like coming in, but I taught you because I wasn't one of those guys.
Yeah.
But it was weird and very, very difficult for me to find somebody who would teach me the board. Like, all right, you can come in on the weekend, but I'm only doing it for like 20 minutes. And if you don't write shit down the first time, I'm not doing it again. It was like that.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why are you being an asshole? I'm not trying to take your job. I just want knowledge.
And
But there's that weird like misconception that if you've got 30 years of experience, you show me, I can't fucking do your job because I don't have it intuitively what you have.
Right.
So it's a weird thing to be protective of.
Yeah,
it's so
of course.
unnecessary. So if someone says to you like, oh, how do I do this podcast? And you explain it to them, it's not like the next day fucking this shit's over because now somebody else is going to do it better.
Dan is doing it better than us.
Very
that's the
different
thing.
podcast.
But that's why you should help people out, because absolutely, when
and it helps everybody.
Right.
Dan, now
the option would have been that you didn't start the podcast and it's not successful. Like, how does that help my life?
Right. Why is that good for anybody?
I want to be a good human being. Like, I want the good energy of seeing my friends. Like, that's a big thing too on Facebook. You see people that don't like people when they're succeeding. You know, you can tell when people don't like that.
Yep.
I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
And in a day and age where there's unlimited content to listen to, it's like because there also is that thing of like, well, if I help this person, it's another competition to my podcast. Like, that fucking doesn't exist anymore. It's like everything's out there, and like it was advantageous for us to try to help Dan as much as possible. And believe me, we just gave him our here's some ideas of what we did. Dan did it all. You and Lynze did. You built your business
and continue to.
Yeah, it's you guys
and
hard work.
We got to throw some love to the Rev, right? Like, is he
Reverend Doctor?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's so great.
I like that guy a lot.
He's cool. He's such a good find.
Dude.
He's so invested, and and he has similar. With you guys, like he came from terrestrial radio.
Yeah,
he did a decade for a rock station. And
he's also in a pretty rad band that
Moretta's great.
He doesn't talk about him much.
I keep getting him. I'm like, have me debut your song. Have me talk about it. But
it kind of pissed me off that he didn't tell me that, because as big as a music fan as I am, I want to play his band on the show because we play music during the breaks.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's a front man. Like, he's a fucking rock star.
Yeah,
like,
he's great.
Cool.
He's great. And actually, and then another guy we just hired for research and and also production help is the front man for a band called Sovereign Citizen, and they got a really.
So you're
great
only
stuff
doing frontmen now.
Only, yep. It's
I like that.
Yep, exactly.
I guess I'm out.
It's a different cult formula I'm working on, where I'm going to my direct underlings will be only lead singers of other bands.
There's a podcast only about the interview lead singers called Lead Singer Syndrome. There's a podcast about anything. As I'm saying,
But it's like, you know how many BDMs and listeners Dan has brought us now because his show is gigantic. Like, that's why you help other people. I don't know.
And we've brought him close to 17, 18 different people that listen. I don't really know
love hearing that it's going back though. That makes me so happy. That you guys are.
Oh yeah, but that's the reason why everybody should help each other, because it will only help you in the long run. Like, listen, Dan and Lynze, they would have done this regardless. So you guys, it's not like we give you some fucking secret or anything. You would have done it already, and now we've got this cool relationship. It works out for us both, and so of course, just help each other out.
It is weird though. I do find that like when people just guard certain secrets that like when people ask me like what kind of equipment, like if I'm working with somebody, I'll tell them everything, because it's not like they couldn't find that, or that's what's going to take us down. It's a weird thing.
And there's no right way either.
Right, right.
Like we use what we can based on our budget. I want to upgrade your microphone and Travis's microphone, more so yours, not so much Travis's. But no, I'm kidding. But it's expensive, But so you get by with what you can, or what you think can work at the time, and then you budget, and then you save. And I think people think they get the misconception, because we do take it seriously, and I know you do too, that we're not still small, or we're not still running it on a shoestring. You know, like we get people all the time that look at us and are like, "Look at these guys," and I'm like, "Motherfucker, I was here till like 9:30 because we lost a hard drive and I had to clone it." Or Tom went to a meeting and was out really late, and his wife's mad because he missed like dinner or something. You know, like there's always some shit going on.
It's a lot of work running your own business.
But people don't see that stuff. And it's not the fun stuff.
I know people are tired of hearing us talk shit about it, but they got like this podcast convention is coming to town. When is it? Next week?
I think it's next weekend.
Yeah,
I thought it was this weekend.
Are we buying a billboard to tell everybody?
Pod movement?
Yeah. And
podcast movement.
We've been talking shit about it only because like tickets are like $400 or $500 a piece.
They're so expensive. I looked into it.
The only reason I'm talking shit about it is when I emailed the guy and I said, "Hey, we're probably the largest." I don't know for certain, but I'm gonna guess we're the biggest in Orlando, and that's where you're coming.
Right.
We'd really love to, whether you want us to speak on something, help people, set up a booth, whatever. Just could you give me a discounted ticket in some way? Because man, these are to get my whole staff here.
Sure.
Tony, Sam, Travis, and me and you would be.
Crazy.
$2,000.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or more at the time. And he's like, if it costs too much, then maybe it's just not the right thing for you. And I'm like, God damn, Mr.
It starts next Tuesday.
Yeah. Well,
see you next Tuesday.
But it's
assholes.
it's quintessentially like a big business taking advantage of people wanting to start podcasts. And
Right.
like, hey, you want to start a podcast? Come here, $500 a ticket. And like, I hate that shit because it's like, man, all the information is out there. Like nowadays, and people are willing to help you out. And like, if you want to search for it, it's there.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to search for it, buying a $500 ticket to some convention is not going to help you. Like, if you don't have
for that price, like, I have never heard of any of these people that are going to be at this goddamn convention.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. If you want information on what we do and you don't want to spend the $500, then save your money and just email me and I'll send you all the secrets.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do it every day. Like, I get people that hit me up every day because I have a sheet now. I think it's the same sheet I might have sent you years ago.
For equipment and different
I've
things.
updated it and stuff, but people are like, what do you use? Here's what I use. Here's how to do it. If you have any other questions, whatever, just hit me up. Email me. I'm here. Here's my number. Tom sat in the lobby one day and talked to some kid that wanted to do a podcast. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there.
That was a waste of time.
Didn't do it.
I look at him like, you're not going to be famous like Dan.
No,
You're no Dan Cummins. You're just a child.
Well, and those people those conventions, I think, probably prey on people too, who it's like, who they don't have the right tools to do it. Where it's like, when I was younger, it's like I wanted to be, like a lot of people, rock star, whatever, like more into music.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not good at guitar. Like I played guitar enough and tried hard enough to around other people to be like, okay, my fingers are never going to do what those fingers do.
Yeah.
And it's like some self-awareness, and that's the thing about podcasts.
That sounds like something a cult leader would say. It really.
But those podcast
Humility.
conventions, they act like they're trying to.
No, just the finger part.
Oh, the finger parts. But they act like they have all these secrets. There is no. It's like no. Like you said, one email can give you all the secrets, and then it's lightning in a bottle. It's like because we'll every once in a while get messages like, well, I want to have it, really kind of go like yours did, and part of it was luck, and then part of it was 19 years of stand up and building things before. It wasn't like
don't ever put. Well, look at him his podcast. Yeah, 20 years of literally traveling.
Yeah.
How many miles is that?
And you're
too many.
Could you even
I've
add
been
that
in
up?
every state. I mean, multiple times.
And how much of a strain it was on the family?
Right. There's all that. They don't
away
want
from the kids and Lindsay.
People don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear like, well, okay, for several years you're going to sleep in fucking disease-infested motels. You're going to take the bus. You're going to do these things, and then you're going to slowly get enough money to like have a sandwich. And then you're going to like
that's where you.
They don't want to.
Step 2 is sandwich.
Step 2 is sandwich.
That's fucking terrible.
But they don't want to hear that. They want to. But I want to be famous now. Well, I can. You and every other asshole on YouTube.
Right. It's the same thing with me and Daniel. Are like, you and Daniel have such a good rapport, and I'm like, 10 years straight, 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, us talking to each other. That was
writing.
That was the base.
What really helped us was writing. We had to do a lot of writing together.
So
where he was having to write, and I was kind of, I guess what do you call it, ghostwriter or helping you, assistant, and we'd sit there and we'd hammer out some bit. Normally you had a direction because you're really good at that, but we had to do that, and we did it. How many other things do you think we wrote?
Thousands. 2 a day
bits.
for years and
2
years.
days for. I mean, just like gotta have a bit, and you know what it's like.
Right?
You know what it's like, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
work. Yeah, if you
but
put,
you're
you
like
put the
one
word
of
in
one
there.
person we can talk to that's ever kind of done that. you know? Even though we're not stand-up guys, we
No, but it's the same thing. If you grind out and it's like a batting average thing, you get all the failures people don't see, all the projects that go nowhere, all the jokes that bomb or whatever. It's like a lot of that to get to something better.
100%.
Oh, God. Should we take a break?
Yes.
Keep us on schedule?
Yes, and when we come back from the break, I do want to go over a couple topics that Dan's done some Timesucks on that are super interesting. One being Casey Anthony, just because it's here in Orlando.
Sure. Oh, my God.
And then we were talking about OJ. I know you did an OJ Simpson one recently. And
hopefully those two hook up.
And
hopefully they have a baby. What if OJ and Casey Anthony have a baby?
It's just crazy enough that it might happen.
I mean, I'd watch them have sex.
Like a video or like through the window? Or?
From the box.
Either.
No,
What
I'm
do you
not
want?
paying them a fucking dime.
I mean, being on purposes is a little scary because he's still a pretty large man.
Big arthritis dick.
Oh, my God.
That's the name of our band.
Big arthritis dick.
Tell Paisley that we started a band
called Big Arthritis Dick.
Big Arthritis Dick, and we want him to come.
Good acronym.
Come see
bad.
Yeah.
Just called bad. Big arthritis dick. Who's bad? Big arthritis. Arthritis dick.
My dick hurts. It hurts real bad. I took Advil and now it feels rad.
You gotta get the first single.
All right, here we go. I called an audible. I threw out all the music I was going to do this week because Cashed Out. We love Cashed Out. They're a local reggae band, and they have a new album that just came out last night at midnight called Undercover. So we're gonna. The reason I did this is because kids are going back to school. We're ushering the summer out. We're welcoming in cooler temperatures. So let's enjoy the end of summer with some beautiful Cashed Out. The album's called Undercover. This song's called Good at Getting By. Check this out, and we'll be right back with more A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. Hey, buddy, you gonna finally get the morning Jibber and buy your wife a new car? Because
that's all it takes. Buy her a new car.
Well, you took away her dream car. She bought her dream car at Sports Subaru. It was pre-owned.
Yeah.
And then you selfishly took it away. So I don't want to point any fingers, but if you want to know why you're not getting the morning Jibber, it's probably because you've destroyed your family.
She did
You're a horrible person.
She did bring it up. She's like, Tommy said he liked my old. She's like, he said, Mommy, where's your old car?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Daddy sold it to buy his car, this truck. And I was like, why are you telling him that? You're turning him against me.
He's telling me the truth. I'm pro that. You use the real terms. It's not a wee-wee, it's a penis. It's not a VV, it's a vagina. And then if you stole your wife's dream car and sold it, that kid deserves to know.
What is it? I wanted the Silverado to pull the boat and the RV that I'm going to have. I'm going to get it soon. Anyway, so I went to Don Mealy Chevrolet, talked to J.C. Harrelson. He gave me a great deal.
I love your truck.
2018
I'm just saying,
Silverado.
If you want to know why there's no morning Jibber, it's because when you take a woman's dream car to buy your dream truck, you done screwed up.
And the thing is, my lease wasn't up for my WRX, so we traded in my wife's Chevy Equinox that she bought at Sports Subaru pre-owned.
We never talk about all the super rad pre-owned cars that they have there.
Yeah, they get them all the time. In fact, I saw in Sports Subaru Sport Mitsubishi right there in West Colonial Drive, and that Subaru dealership has no dealer fee. In fact, they have a new BDM representative that's going to take care of you. His name is Mike Stacks. So go down there, ask for Mike Stacks. He's going to hook you
stacks of cash.
And but now my WRX, the lease is about to be up, and we're going to be test driving that Subaru Ascent.
Yeah,
they're like big SUV. My wife loves it.
Well, I have a surprise for you. We have lined it up so your wife will be joining us.
Oh, for the test drive,
so we can do real life argument. Everyone will love it. I mean, not to pull some 90s on you, but yes, we have lined it up so your wife will be riding. I might even see if we can pick the boys up at school just so they can weigh in on it. Really gang up on that.
You're like, you like this car, but here's the cool thing is whether you go talk to Mike Stacks at Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, or you go and talk to J.C. Harrelson at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, they're going to give you a VIP treatment because they know and want to make sure all Tom and Dan listeners, all BDMs are happy.
BDM, just by saying I listen to Tom and Dan, you've already got a leg up.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, you got to get this guy the best deal or girl the best deal because they know you're going to talk about it on the BDM page. We're going to have you in because if you buy a car from both dealerships, you're going to do a testimonial.
You might take a picture or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So they, all of that stuff matters to them and to us.
And automatically, you're more valuable than every other person because you now have a voice, just like us. Like, guess what? They're going to treat us with a little bit extra customer service because they want us to be happy, and they want you guys to be happy because they know you guys have a voice.
But they're not going to treat you as good as they treat us.
No, of course not.
Because we're the best.
Yeah. If we did have a bad experience,
we the best.
We would silence you very quickly.
Yeah. If you said I was not satisfied, I'm delete that. No. You guys need to learn how to stop telling the truth. We can't. We have to tell the truth.
But we don't have to worry about that because they are going to hook you up and take care of you just like they've done with the dozens and dozens of our listeners.
Absolutely.
And they'll do it with you too. So it's Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, West Colonial Drive, and Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
Scumbags! What's going on? It is Sam and Trav with your BDM Clip of the Week, Sam.
And Trav.
This week, Tom and Dan moseyed on down to Tampa to do a Chatting with the Masters with Bubba the Love Sponge.
So I've never listened to Bubba the Love Sponge my entire life. Obviously, I've heard him mentioned numerous times.
Yes.
It was incredibly interesting, especially hearing them talk about his studio and stuff. And in this clip, he talks about getting arrested.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I wasn't even out there. I was in the studio. I got arrested, guys, for being in the studio. That would be like the guy that broadcasted the Hindenburg, the cameraman getting arrested. He didn't fucking blow it up.
Oh, I didn't know you got arrested.
Oh, I thought you
knew that. No,
I got fucking thrown in jail.
And what for?
There was a $1 million 1-year trial that went on. Trial of the fucking century.
When
I was facing 5 years in prison.
What was the charge?
Cruelty to animals. Even though I wasn't even there. I was in the studio and they were in the parking lot.
But you were the guy. You were the mastermind.
I was the guy.
You were the guy.
So they arrested all 4 of us.
Oh, did they arrest the guy, the hog trapper?
They arrested the hog trapper. They arrested the hog trapper's helper. They arrested Brent Hadley, my producer, who actually had the microphone out in the parking lot, and they arrested me.
And the only problem in their mind is that you recorded it for, and they.
But hold on, the FCC said he didn't do anything illegal. Now, aren't we governed by the FCC?
Correct.
So how can something not be an FCC violation but be a fucking jailable offense? I don't think it can be.
Were they just looking for something, Bubba?
I'm the fucking bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90s radio crazy. The shenanigans they did, the things they did back in the day. It is crazy. I don't know. I found it very interesting to find out how many times Bubba the Love Sponge got in trouble, not only with the FCC, but also with the law.
And I find it welcoming that you guys are bringing that back to Tom and Dan today. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I'm painting my tits shamrocks next week.
Yes.
Pumpkins, actually. Halloween's
it's almost
coming up.
fall. Yeah, understood.
To hear the rest of this BDM show, you have to sign up to become a BDM.
At tomanddan.com.
He is the Weed Man. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha is here. Butler's here. Guests are here. Our very special guests are here. Mr. Dan Cummins, Lynze Cummins, the Cumminses.
Well, I think Dan's in the thinking box, right?
Oh, is he in the jack-off box?
Oh. I don't know
It's
where
shaking.
I told him to take it to the courtyard.
Lindsay's actually wearing one of our straw hats.
She's trying to wear it
I'm
over
going to take
the-
my headphones off for a second because
Which-
it's so cute. It's so comfy.
It looks good on you.
Which
It
we
looks
got
really good on you.
a bunch in, and they will be for sale at 6 o'clock on Monday.
If you're a
6
diva
p.m.
about
Monday.
your brim, give it a swift dunk in a bathtub and then put it in the sun. And you're good to go. It'll shape up perfectly.
I don't know. I kind of like this because then it protects the shoulders too.
Yeah. I like mine wide, but sometimes they get a little floppy. So people have asked me, like, your hat looks perfect. Yeah, just dunk it in water and put it in the sun. It'll tighten right back up. It's the beauty of the hat.
They can't see the hat because the camera's on.
Oh, sorry. I had them on.
Well.
Thought I had them on. Now look.
Also, I'd like to thank one of our sponsors, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. If you go to ABC, use the hashtag TDABC when you're buying whatever you're going to buy.
Yeah,
if
I
you're
loaded
White
up last
Claw.
What'd you get?
Got the 6-pack of Lime White Claw. Got a 6-pack of Lagunitas Daytime.
You and I are the limos, right?
Yeah. I
That's
did
what they
not like
call us.
lime in the beginning, but now I'm a lime fan.
It's the most
It's
easy.
subtle.
Yeah, it's a Sprite. It's a Sprite. It's an adult Sprite.
Also, speaking of one of our straw hats, we're giving one away with a humidor contest. They're involved. They are a part of ABC.
Yeah, well, it's the same company, except the humidor.com is their cigar branch, or arm, rather. Even my tiny little ABC up the road here has a little tiny... It's so cute. It's all in glass, and it's the tiniest little humidor section, but they got a ton of great cigars in there.
Yeah, and if you go to thehumidor.com, use promo code Tom and Dan, you'll get a percentage off, and we're going to pick a winner from someone that uses that promo code this month, and they're going to win a straw hat. So,
from our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, they asked who was playing. That is cashed out. The person asking the question's name is Dingleberry Jones.
That's amazing.
Also, thanks to Tactical Hat. He tipped me $87 to give me our money back.
He felt bad.
I wish
feel
that
like
happened
Tactical Hat sort of dad.
Well, he did that because he wants you guys to recreate the statue, not because he cares that you lost money.
Oh, my statue.
That's how much you said it would cost for you to recreate.
Oh, okay, yeah. We
Okay,
will
like,
be doing that.
hold on a second with the statue. I don't know if I've ever noticed this, and I'm gonna bring this up for discussion, but I can't put it on camera. So you've got me standing, and you got Tom in a.
But you'd have to be able to hold
in
Tom.
a headstand. But there's something here that nobody's seeing. There's a dog down here between our legs. Look at that.
Caesar's down
That's
there?
a dog?
That's a dog or a lion.
sure?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, it's a lion.
Yeah.
Ooh, where do we get one of those?
We'll dress Butler up as a lion.
Done. All right.
deal.
Well, solved.
Don't
Sam, you've
look
been
up.
full of great ideas this week, so keep it coming.
Presto trip.
So, anyway, I know before we went to break, we were talking about one of the subjects of a Timesuck that you did a while back, and it was about Casey Anthony. And one of our guests mentioned that today... It was bizarre. I didn't
Today
know
would have been.
Would have been Kaylee Anthony's 14th birthday.
That is
which is
insane.
crazy.
I can't believe it was that long ago.
Which is crazy. Now
I don't even know what to say about that.
I
mean,
know.
because my instincts wants to go too far and say something terrible, but I'm a dad now, so my instinct makes me want to go too far and make a joke.
We've had a lot
But
of
I'm not
bizarre
gonna do it.
cases
Can't
in
do it.
Orlando.
Can't do it.
I'm so curious.
And Casey Anthony was one of the biggest. And when you were doing your research on it, obviously you had heard about it, but probably
Yeah.
not as much as we did here because we're in our
And
backyard.
I kind of missed it. I mean, I knew of it, but I didn't really get into it for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't really follow it when it happened.
We couldn't get away from it
I
because
bet.
it was
I
here.
Well, my
Yeah.
wife was working for the
Constant.
news station. You know, Andrea. She
Yeah.
was working at the news station at the time, WESH, Channel 2. So every day she would have to update that story.
Yeah.
And it really, and I've said this before, but like we were talking about it a couple days ago even, and she was like, that's what drove me out of the news business.
I bet.
Like she
Wow.
was
That's
an online reporter. You know, she would write all the stories that go online. So she had to dig through all this stuff and then watch all this video and then post the videos
Yeah.
and then update.
Right.
She's like, I can't do this anymore. It's just too depressing. Kid death is not fun.
Yeah.
Death is not fun, but kid death
Maybe I
really
shouldn't even brought
not
it
fun.
up.
No joke Friday.
No,
they're saying in the
totally,
chat room.
I think it's totally fine to bring it up. I mean, Casey Anthony, here's a fun fact. I used to do trivia every Wednesday at a place called Big Belly Brewery.
And she went there.
Downtown,
Yeah.
and she went there, and there's a stripper pole that's in there next to like the DJ booth, and there's a picture of her swinging around the pole.
That was one of the main ones they had in the trial.
Yeah, and they use it all the time in the trial. So I had this idea because I'm a little off. I was like, well, we should get that picture blown up, like not huge,
Yeah.
but then put it there and then frame it and then have people go and reenact her poses to take
Oh my
pictures.
God.
But the bar vetoed it, which is weird. Because normally
That's so strange.
Normally bar owners won't veto anything. They're like, you get people in the fucking doors, do it, hang it up. You know, like but they were like, yeah, just do your trivia.
And I'm sure, like even like this Casey Anthony's case and then OJ's case, when you go back and you start reading the whole thing, you're
Right.
like, "What the fuck? How are these people free?"
Well, and we had a lot of lawyers, like writing an update where it's like, I do get why they were let go. Basically, both those cases, everybody thought they were guilty. But it's like legally guilty. Like that whole like with the court, you're only going off the evidence. You have to follow these guidelines, and because of those guidelines in a courtroom, no, we can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt for this reason or that reason.
That's the key thing, the reasonable doubt.
Right.
If they leave
Yep.
any reasonable doubt
Yep.
at all, it has to be not guilty.
Right, exactly. So, but I think juries walked away being like, well, they got away with it.
Yeah.
They got away with it in both the situations.
Because I think everybody thought, especially in the Casey Anthony case, they're like, oh, she knew what happened, and then she staged this, but we can't prove that she actually murdered her daughter. That was the thing. So then people want to, look at all the jurors and be like, you idiot, you blew it. But they're like, I'm going by what the judge tells me to do. And they're like, you have to find them guilty of this crime without beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right, and they didn't find. If they would have found her body, Katie's body, much earlier, there would have been much more forensic evidence, and they probably could have put her away. But because it took a long time, and then
Well, like going
Which was
along
also
with
crazy because she was found less than a mile from her fucking house.
Right.
It's like, how did you not search that area?
But going along with this particular story and then other ones that I know you've done, one of the stories that you did that I should not have jumped into, and I think you even told me not to, was Toy Box. Yeah. What's been the one that's been the most for both of you guys emotionally draining? Because after listening to those,
Toy Box is pretty bad.
Now they say
Joseph
that
Fritzl.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That one is.
They say that the Toy Box guy, the actual recordings that you can hear online have just been people like creating them, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, they didn't. They never released the ones from the trial. What's messed up about what made Toy Box so is because all these things are obviously horrible, but Toy Box is a very unique situation where this guy, oh my gosh, now I'm trying to remember his actual name. Cindy Hendy was his companion, I guess. She kind of like was drug along and helped.
Whimsical name, right?
Right. Cindy Hendy.
I'm Cindy Hendy.
David Parker,
hey,
David Parker Ray.
You're not going to torture
David
me,
Parker
right?
Ray. Yeah, David Parker Ray, the real guy. What he would do is, he had like a little trailer, outfitted into a sexually sadistic like torture room with like a gynecology chair and all these horrible tools on the wall where he would he would get prostitutes, he would drug them, they would wake up, they're on the chair, and then they're going to be horrifically tortured.
My God.
And so
then you just
most of them
play
would
on
live.
like a thing,
and
right?
that's what made it, because most of them were then let go. He would pump so many drugs into them to mess their heads up that they wouldn't have a clear memory of where they were or what happened.
I know.
But what's so horrific about it, beyond all the stuff that happened is, he would push play. He had this saw like, would you like to play a game?
Yeah.
Like he had this thing, but it's so we know exactly what these women heard because they found that tape and they transcribed it in court. And reading through that was the most disgusted I've ever been. Because
I read the whole thing because of you, and I shouldn't have done it. It was like in the middle of the night.
And he's like,
why?
I suffer from insomnia, and I was like, Dan,
That'll help you go to sleep.
What's Dan doing?
God.
Oh, okay, let me Google the transcript. And I went through I read the whole thing. It's like, because he would basically say things like, you might think you're going to be able to get away, but you're not. And
right.
If you do, I'm going to fucking chop your head off, and I'm going to fuck the neck hole. And it was all like very nonchalant.
And the joking, the way he joked, I don't know why, that made me so much more enraged. He would be like, now you probably think you're going to get raped here, and I'm not going to lie to you. Yep.
Oh my God!
You're going to get raped a whole bunch.
Movie.
It was very horror movie.
And he'd go into specific detail. He's like, now the worst of it is going to be when I sick the dog on you. And he would talk about, he would bring in a German Shepherd to sodomize these women and then advise them.
Well, that's the only part
what
I
you're going to want to do is just really kind of like relax. That's going to make it the least painful. Like as if he just I just work here. He had this tone of like, listen, I don't like it either. I don't make the rules.
It's
I'm that guy.
This is hurting me a lot more than it's hurting you. Trust me.
Right. If I could let you go, I would.
I don't want to bring
could.
the dog in.
Technically, I could. But
he wants
anyway.
to be in there.
So, Dan, I also want to ask you, because you've gotten into some time sucks about like some things in history that are fascinating too.
Yeah, good pivot.
Wait, you
don't want to go further down the German Shepherd anal rape trail?
I wanted to talk about Vikings a little bit because I know you did a whole time suck on Vikings, and it's a little less. Dan,
I heard you did a time suck about Vikings. What can people expect at one of your shows tonight?
We could just tell everyone to go listen to his time suck episodes. People are getting upset about some of the topics.
No
Joke Fridays.
Vikings are little more lighthearted. Yeah, because if you go far enough,
raped and pillaged villages.
Old school rape and pillaging.
Right.
It's a
different time.
But it is a weird thing where it's like if you know somebody did, but it's like you don't have the exact details. It somehow makes it more bearable if it's a little vague. I don't know why that is.
And
if it's farther away.
Yeah, it's farther away too. It's like because there's I've listened to podcasts about like World War I, and things like that where horrible things happen, but when for whatever reason, if it's like history, it's more fascinating and less grotesque. There's some weird psychological
Vikings is like fascinating to me. Well, it's like that thing of like history's written by the victors, and so we have this perception of Vikings like these barbarians because the people who wrote about the Vikings were the people they were fighting. Like the Anglo-Saxons and all that kind of stuff. And so you see like a lot of these movies where it's like these chivalrous knights and things, and then the barbaric Vikings, which is not true. Like they were all like the rape and pillaging. Everybody raped back then, like the soldiers' wives. That was like a thing of war. Where if you conquered this village,
every side was doing it.
Every side was doing it. Like they were just like that was like almost like a thing for the soldiers. Like almost like a recruitment thing. It's like you get to take some of their stuff and you could do some raping.
Like
it was just like nuts, it just went on constantly back then. So like it wasn't like something like culturally specific to the Vikings at all.
I feel like if you use that now, there'd be more people like enlisting in the military.
Oh my God, the different type of listen. We can't pay you a lot.
It's very dangerous work, but hey, there are some benefits. Can't go into those. Just follow the German Shepherd down to the door. He'll tell you the rest.
And we have a very unique canine unit.
Oh
my God!
And the Vikings,
I'll cut all this out.
But the Vikings were giant men, right? Like that was like those Norwegian guys.
Not me.
Like,
I was tiny Viking.
I
know. In a video that's never been released, I stood on a metal canoe with wood on the front of it, and I was in the back in a loincloth and a long blonde wig and horns, and I had a sword that was like double my my height. And I rode down the Peace River with flames coming out of the canoe, I think, right?
What?
And I was tiny Viking.
Why
is this a fever dream or just really happened?
We filmed it. It was a different time.
When are we going to release Tiny Viking?
I have no idea.
And Tiny Viking, the legend of Tiny Viking is he would wait till you as a camper were going to shit in the woods, and then I would run under your potty, because you have those little potties.
And then you poke their butts?
No, I would just sit under them, and I'd be like, gotcha. I
feel like that's going to backfire on you. Like, just gotcha.
No,
you got me.
No, you underestimate how quick Tiny Viking is. Very fast. Very fast. The most I've ever got is a little on my horns. just a scope.
But I don't like the size, like...
It's a true story. You guys are looking at me like an idiot. Is that a real video or not?
Yeah, it is. Now all
and moving on.
Yeah, but all like those giant strongmen and stuff.
Right.
They all come from.
Now
Nordic countries.
I can't remember. I don't know if there is any like way back when, because
they were like bigger than normal.
I don't. There wasn't like a lot of battle descriptions that I recall, at least, of them like, oh shit, these guys are gigantic. They were like, there was a weird thing. The Berserker thing is true, where there was kind of like almost like a religious sect within, because like Odin, and they had like all of their gods, very different type of gods than than the rest of like Christian Europe, more like pagan type gods, I guess. But some of these fighters would. These berserkers would be like this religious ritual. They get themselves all worked up, and they're just going to go ape shit in battle as like channel like this war god, and just. But they think that they might have taken some kind of like drug.
Speed.
And they just
that's what you take.
And they actually, I loved it. Like there's this weird detail where they finally banned it because these guys were too crazy. Like they would just go so crazy that if the battle took too long to get started, and they're all hopped up on their berserker juice or whatever, they would just start fucking killing each other.
Oh really?
Right. Like we gotta let these guys out because we're gonna kill something. We got 5 minutes before we're killing something.
Be like, shit, we timed it wrong. This guy's going crazy.
Yeah, it's like lighting a firecracker or something like that. Like, no, wait. The enemy's not here. No, it's going to go off.
Yeah. And I promise, the last subject I want to talk to you about is something I've saw like a resurgence of on Facebook for whatever reason, but it's the moon landing conspiracy.
Oh, God.
And I know there's family members of mine that don't believe that we ever landed on the moon, and and I think they're bullshitting. Like I'm like, like I'm looking at their eyes. Like, are you saying this is just to fuck around, or do you? And 100% they don't.
Well,
do not believe it.
What's their stake in it?
Well, I think they believe that it makes more sense that it was all made up and staged rather than back then. I think they don't believe in the 60s we're capable of doing that. And
well, I find most conspiracies come from people not, Frank, just being really not being good at science. They don't fundamentally understand how science works, and a certain kind of logic that has kind of they're not applying to that issue or something. Like there's this thing called Occam's razor, this philosophic principle where it's like the simplest answer is usually the correct one. The things that requires the least obstacles to be correct. And and like with this the moon landing conspiracy, like forget about even trying to understand, I guess, like the scientific principles, like how they could get there. Think about what it would take to pull that off. It's not a couple people holding a secret and showing. There wasn't kickback like from the Russians, like the cosmonauts. They were like, "Get the fuck out of here! That's impossible." Like no scientific group was ever like, "No." Everyone was like, "Yeah." Like people. If thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have dedicated their lives, like they have very high IQs, very high test scores, they're in the scientific field. If none of those people bump on something. Like if they're all like, yeah, that could be possible, then why are people listening to some conspiracy theorist who like has a fucking 2-year degree in whatever and is in their basement being like, look, you need to listen up, sheeple. There was, it's like that guy versus fucking all of science.
You're right. And also but
it happens a lot.
There's literally a Hell's Angels saying of like 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead, and the reason why that's famous is because no one can keep fucking secrets,
right.
And they use that to say like only one person can keep a secret.
Right.
So you're asking like all this, like a lot of community to keep this under wraps, and of course it wouldn't happen. That's the problem with conspiracies. Too many people involved.
Right, exactly. If the moon landing was really fake, I mean, then it's like so like all the people at NASA lied, and they're having to keep that lie up to this day.
Yeah.
Because think about all the scientists today where if that truly was just not able to happen, there would be expert after expert, like really, truly qualified, educated experts being like, no, that's fucking silly.
Yeah.
There's not even a moon.
And they would be famous for finding finding out.
It's the lizard carousel. There's some lizards that have mirrors and they trick us. And come on. It's like,
Yeah. And they were talking about, like I saw on Facebook, some guy was showing that the moon photos, like the photos have been photoshopped.
Right.
And even like NASA was like, yeah, we photoshopped them because to clear them up and make them look better for press or whatever. And then then they take that audio and they're like, look at this guy from NASA. He's saying that the moon
airbrushed these photos.
Right. Well, there's a big thing with the moon. Like one of the big smoking guns of like the moon landing is that NASA erased the tapes of the landing from the moon. But if you dig further, it's because it's like how like what 24 frame. It's a frame rate thing. And it's like film, 24 frame rate. TV is like 30, like 29.97. Like there's certain frame rates that play on
50,
certain devices.
60,
there's
60, all kinds of different ones.
Yeah, but it's all this tech stuff that a lot of people don't understand. But it's like if you understand a little bit about like how that stuff works, it was 10 frame rates per second. It was a very slow thing. The type of cameras they had to use on the moon, and then that information would get beamed to some Australia and US, some other that would translate. Put it in the correct frame rate and then bounce that to the local broadcasting stations. The footage that was recorded by those stations that translated, that stuff we still have. They just didn't, they lost, but they didn't need that. It was like unwatchable. It was just, so we do have the footage that people saw live, but it's like people say like, and they won't count human error. They won't think of like, it's always a conspiracy where it's like, okay, those original tapes got erased. And it must be like Illuminati type forces, or just shithead McGee, who's 2 years away from retirement. He's like, fucking whatever. I gotta watch.
We don't need these.
Listen, I just want to watch. Like 2 minute. I can't even think of a single sitcom. I was trying to pull one sitcom reference,
baby,
as a sitcom.
I thought you were going to say, I would watch that.
I was trying to think of Jim Belushi. What TV show he had? I watched no sitcoms. So I was like,
according to Jim, or something?
I should have went way back. Yeah, I mean, I got to watch I Love Lucy. Or like what?
I still watch some 2 Men and a Baby here. See what's going on here. Where's Steve Gutenberg? Like, what did he die? He had cancer? Wow, really is No Joke Fridays.
So Dan, you
my whore of a wife is here.
Oh my God!
Hello. Is she in the bathroom? Don't let her in the bathroom. I know why she stopped by.
Well,
you stopped by. You had to poop, right?
How rude!
Okay.
We've been messaging.
You with the Peloton too? You're wasting away.
I know. What?
Both of you.
When are you going to buy me a Peloton?
You're great.
A Peloton.
Thanks.
Get on the Peloton.
You're so tiny.
I'm glad Andrew's here because I'm calling my wife to berate her.
Now I can tell the story about real quick before because we're getting close to a break. I did the most Mr. Magoo like dad thing ever this past weekend. Maisie has the big Crayola, the standards, the big fat round Crayola markers.
Yeah.
And one of them rolled off, and I'm cooking breakfast for them, right? And there's really no point of the story than just to make fun of me and how I'm becoming a bumble dad. And the marker rolled off the table, and it hit the ground. I'm cooking the bacon and everything and getting your breakfast ready. And I'm walking back, and I step on the marker, and in true Mr. Magoo style, I already set down their platters of French toast. So I made them French toast. I was pulling the bacon. So imagine our dining room table has 2 plates of French toast, one here, about a foot apart.
Yep.
And the marker fell over. And when I stepped on the marker,
No, you did not.
I rolled backwards like Mr. Magoo. I karate slapped the French toast, and it's rocketed into my face. So I'm covered in sticky goo, and then I lay flat out, and my head hits the counter. Like, oh my God. Yeah, I could have died. And it was like, and I just laid there almost dead. And these two motherfuckers laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. Maisie was...
Because we're into
Maisie was snort laughing.
It was like watching it live.
Yes, so she's into that right now. She's
She
like, can
was
we watch funny
fucking
videos? And so she
snort
thought
laughing
it was
at
like
me.
real life America's Funniest Home Videos.
I love it.
Dad doing a little slapstick.
She was snorting and had snot and red face and tears.
I like this kid.
Nothing made
She's
her
great.
laugh harder than she thought it and you didn't help at all. And you guys,
I was trying to pick up the marker. I was like, stop. But it was
and
already in motion.
And those markers, man, if you get them on tile, it's I thought I was going to die. The knot on the back of my head is just now healed a little bit. But anyway, so there you go. Laugh at me, and well done. Thanks for being a great mom.
Well, I rarely get a chance to make fun of my wife for messing up some parenting decision, because it's usually me that screwed it up.
What you do?
This is a great lead-in to bringing your wife on the show.
I know, because I want to publicly embarrass her.
Did she buy your boy some handguns again? This is the second time. This is the second time.
But I did get home the other day, and both my sons were clutching my wife, and then like, he's there, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what's happening? And then
I don't know.
They've been listening to Timesuck again.
Shadow people.
I'm like, skip the dog part.
My God.
I'm like, what's going on? And my wife's like, I made a mistake. I'm like, oh yes. I'm like, I don't know why it makes me so happy, but I make so many mistakes.
That was your first reaction?
Yes, because it's always me that makes a mistake. So my wife's on the line.
What line?
Line 1.
Babe, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
All right. So
She sounds thrilled.
Well, this is going to go well. This is going to go great.
Did I not? I'm sorry if I wasn't enthusiastic enough.
No, it just sounded like you're already mad
Tom's up to something.
At Tom, and it sounds like he's up to something.
So
I assumed I was still on hold, and then he was just saying, like, hey, we're going to put you on in a minute. So I didn't have my show voice on.
Before the calls, he's like, well, get the me some.
So I'm like, why are the kids so scared? She's like, I made a mistake. I thought they were old enough to handle this, because I was like, I watched it when I was a kid.
Minute, she shelters those boys. She ain't going to
Faces of death?
No, she ain't going to. I don't believe this story for a second. She is not going to show them anything that would scare them.
It's as scary as Faces of Death to a 4 and 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And it's the...
I know it isn't.
It is the scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit of Judge Doom getting
scary.
rolled over by a steamroller.
That's pretty scary.
So
It is a bit scary.
Then you can bring it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't remember that either.
So it all started
You don't
with...
remember that? Oh my God! That was the funniest movie. I don't remember being scared by that movie at all.
That part's pretty freaky.
And my wife showed me the clip, and then when I watched it, I was like, why did you show them that? Because I know my boys are sensitive.
How does this come up in conversation to even show them?
Bill, it all started when...
So this is how... So Tommy and Max were, like, they like to look at pictures and videos, like, of themselves. So I was trying to find something on... And I went to Instagram to look, and there was this picture that TC had taken of the back of Tommy's head when I got him his new haircut, and he said that he looked like Judge Doom. So then there was a side-by-side of Tommy and Judge Doom, and then they said, well, who's that guy? And I was like, oh, I'll show you. He's this guy from this funny movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So then I just Googled, Let me whisper because they're going to hear it.
No, I got it.
Oh, they're still traumatized.
I got it.
Every single night they're like, he's under our bed. The flat man is here.
The flat man. Flat man.
Yeah. And then
I have it
the
up.
flat man, and then and it's days and days.
Let's watch
of
the
flat
flat
man's
man.
everywhere, and they're hugging my legs as we walk around the house because they're petrified of Judge Doom.
Maybe if I hug the leg of the drunk man. The
here's Judge Doom.
Okay, so watch this. This if you.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
So.
I didn't show them the rolling over him part. The clip that I showed them started peeling himself up.
By the way, this is too far for kids.
It is.
And I remember I watched, I don't know when it came out, but when I was a kid, I watched.
Here he goes.
So he's a flat guy.
So
I don't remember
Judge Doom's.
It's got a Slender Man vibe.
Yeah,
it
that's a
is
Slender
pretty
Man
creepy.
vibe.
Also, back then, where they used some like claymation animation, and
It kind of reminds me of
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so that's what they're afraid of?
Okay.
And then
Creepy.
Okay, there you go. I got to turn that off. It's too scary for me.
You got to see the eyeballs.
Oh yeah,
Here come the eyeball. Oh, here, I'll put it back on
his
so you can see the
eyeballs fall out, and then and it's got a very.
You got to hear him scream though.
Okay.
Large Marge.
Here they go, reinflating him. Oh, blew his hat off.
Eyeballs fall out. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember me, Eddie?
What did he say?
Remember me, Eddie?
Your brother, I talk.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
that's scary.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah,
That's the creepy part.
Yeah, that's not good, Crystal.
I saw in their eyes they were traumatized by it, which I kind of like. I'm a little happy that they maybe it hardened up a little bit, but now they cannot sleep or like I'm like, go brush your teeth. They're like, he's in there. I'm like, God damn it! Like, and so my wife.
Guess who I'm going as is for Halloween. I just happened.
And I was going to ask Dan and Lindsay, have you ever traumatized? I
have.
Okay,
Sure did.
by accident.
Yeah, I just wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I've done this bunch of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying specifically with horror movies. I let. Well, now I feel like the knife. Is that the sword?
Well, I was thinking the knife. I was thinking of the stapler.
Oh,
Is
that's
how you
right. Oh, I
traumatized Kyler.
I love the fact that you guys have so many.
You're like,
you gotta go.
I'm glad other parents don't do this.
There's one for each child.
There's the most embarrassing parental moment. Well, there was a scary thing. Just really quick. Gremlins. I didn't think about that. I kind of watched Gremlins too young because I was like Gizmo, but then I forgot about the evil Gremlins.
Stripe.
Kind of scary. So he got freaked out about little Gremlins being around.
I was thinking about how you let Monroe.
I know Monroe was super into horror movies, and she was way too young. This was probably like 7.
No, horror movies like Goosebumps.
But I'm thinking, she's
come on.
such a tough little kid. I'm like, okay, and so we're going through previews, but I'm previewing like The Ring, Conjuring.
And she was like 8.
And she told me, she's like, I don't think I'm supposed to watch these. And I'm like, yeah, okay, all right.
And then what sent her over the edge was the preview for Annabelle.
Dude, that preview sent me over the edge.
I don't
She
know what I
didn't
was
sleep
thinking.
for weeks. And you know who had to deal with it?
Because that's a little bit of like a folklore mixed with like what Robert the Doll from Key West.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little bit of that action like sprinkled on it.
Ed and Lorraine Horn.
Ed and the Rain
So
Warren.
are they gonna?
The stapler was the worst thing I did.
The stapler almost made me be like, am I in a relationship with a fucking psychopath?
Yes, probably on some level.
Let's hear this story.
Okay.
So the backstory is like, maybe I was raised a little different. I was raised like, like you get like skin knee or whatever like that. You don't like cry about it.
Yeah,
so it's like whatever. You get like bumps and bruises. You don't like
Put some
cry about it.
Mercurochrome on it and get back out.
Right,
there.
get back down. Like walk it off kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so like Kyler when he was younger was just very sensitive and he would just cry constantly. Like over literally like the thing where you're like, dude, I can't see it. And then you look and there's like the tiniest red speck and I'm like, weeping?
Yeah.
Weeping for that. Like you're 8 now. Like come on, let's stop it. So the logic I still stand by to do this.
Oh no!
But it was not a good demonstration. I was just trying to show him that you can like have mind over matter when it comes to pain. Not let it.
No, this is going on.
Dude, I know where this is going, and I have to agree with Swervy Jones. This is No Joke Friday.
Yeah.
This is so. I would do this thing in college. For whatever reason, we all have our like things. Like when it comes to like getting cut or whatever like that, it just doesn't really bother me. Like I've never been squeamish about that, and it doesn't. I don't know if I have nerve problems or something, but I
To
can
say
hit
the least.
like puncture wounds or whatever. And I used to do this thing just to mess with my friends. I would staple, just like take a stapler, go pop, 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 like all the way in like an arm or something, and then just pull them out and be like, it doesn't bother me.
You might be a psychopath.
Might be a psychopath. So I had Kyler. I'm like, he was crying. I'm like, dude, look at this. Okay,
He was crying because he was going to get his fingernails cut.
Fingernails cut. Oh yeah, everything was tears. And so I'm like, I want you to show like watch what I do. Here. I'm like, probably like 7 or 8.
Too old.
And so I'm like, okay, watch me. It is psychotic. I'm like, just look at me in the eye, and then
Stare at me in my eyes.
No, as he's looking in my eyes,
Hold on,
I
put my
staple
glasses
my
on,
arm.
cult leader.
Dude, your kids must be terrified
Then
of
I
you.
pull out each staple, and like blood starts to like come out a little bit. I'm like, now look at me. Am I crying? Am I crying? And he was like, no.
That's sadistic, dude.
But
You're like slicing your
You're
fucking
like,
arm.
you're not crying. I'm not crying, and you're gonna love Sea Org.
It was too much.
So put your uniform on. You're shipping
But this
out.
was years
next
of build
week.
up.
My teeth
Years
are
of build
rotting
up,
out.
and I realized, yeah, not my proudest moment.
You're like, Steve-O would have appreciated it.
I'm kind of impressed on the dad side. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed on the kid side. I'm very sad.
So
I know. It's just, I apologize.
Has he ever talked about it ever again?
Oh yeah. I was like,
Totally traumatized.
Crystal,
I was like, what do you think about that? He's like, I thought it was
Crystal,
crazy.
what's the remedy here? Like, do you have to like reassure the boys that
we try. It's already ingrained. It's set in, and no matter how many times it's fake, it's not real. Whatever. It's
Can you
like,
just not talk about it?
Yeah.
I didn't realize I didn't realize your name was Crystal.
No, I'm sorry.
Get him.
You know what that's called? That's called a stapler to his right to his head.
Daniel started asking me a question, and you just started talking. Does that happen?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, what?
That's so funny though, because Crystal,
Tom
that
answers
happens
for everyone.
Oh yeah, that happens with Dan and I all the time. Someone asks me a question, and then Dan starts telling the story. I'm like,
It's a man thing.
dude.
no.
Well, just
you do
when
it.
you're in an abusive relationship, that's what happens. I mean, like,
I felt like I could answer better. I was.
You're digging a deep grave, my friend.
Oh, it's already dug.
So Crystal.
yeah. So, Crystal, what are you having to do with the boys now?
Oh, he probably could answer better. I have to tell them over and over that it's just. I told them it was an emoji face, is what I said. I'm like, when we put a
good
Snapchat
save.
on,
That's a good
and
save.
It's like an emoji face. That guy just had on one of those silly emoji faces.
Oh yeah, like
But
a
they don't-
Snapchat filter.
Yeah, that's what I tried to tell him. But Tommy, he looks around and he's like, the guy's not here, but what if he comes out of the floor? That's that one I don't know how
Wow.
to.
Well, he's a creative
Can you tell him
too.
he's not real?
Yeah, he doesn't exist.
Tommy's a creative,
Oh, yeah.
though. So, speaking as a creative, when you've been gifted something that scares you, you can take it to new heights.
Yeah.
That's
By
true.
implementing your own designs, So if I came over to your house with 2 ping pong balls that I drew eyeballs on, and I turned around and I dropped them, and they bounced on the ground, and I turned around and I was like, these, and I just, it would not
Oh yeah, to get them good.
Could you use it to your advantage? Could you be like, he won't get you if you clean your plate.
I thought about it. Honestly. I thought about it.
Yeah.
Or if they sneak the iPad or the Kindle. If I'm sleeping in the morning and they wake up early, they'll go in my drawer and get them out. So I was thinking of downloading the picture of him.
As the screensaver. That's great.
Awesome.
That is great.
Crystal, that's awesome. And Tom, just so you know, I'm the heavy, and I know you're the heavy, like the disciplinarian.
I'm not.
No,
I know Crystal and I are in the same role, but when I looked at TC while she was saying that, and I looked at my wife while she was saying that, you two softies were like, how dare she? They looked offended, and I'm like, get them!
Also, there was one more thing my wife told me. Tell the bathroom story from the other day.
Oh no!
Oh my God. Okay, it was totally switching gears, but this has never happened to me before. But we went to Target and we were buying school supplies. When we got back to the car, somebody had to go pee, so we went in to go to the bathroom, and then Max had to poop. So Max is pooping, and in the stall next to me on both sides are 2 women who are also pooping, and It's like when you're a woman and you're pooping in a public place. If somebody else comes into the bathroom, you kind of stop and wait for them to leave and then finish. Do you guys know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I got to put on a performance. My audience has arrived. Finally, they're here. Gates have opened. All right.
It's a standoff.
Well, the opening band was my pee-pee. Get the closer.
Yeah, someone's pouring out a fish tank in there. So
gross.
Well, anyway, it was like they were obviously on pause. Like there was no movement, there was no sound, there was no breathing. Like, they were waiting for
stalemate.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, and of course, he took forever. He was like, whatever. I don't know. I was going in and out of the stall, checking on him, like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" And one time when I came back out of the stall, Tommy was crouched on the floor with his head under the door of the other person.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
And then he told me, he's like, "I saw a naked butt."
Dude, you got
Wait,
that's unacceptable.
Wait, your son was looking at another woman wiping her ass?
Yeah.
He's curious.
You have bigger problems than the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You gotta have some talk.
That was the turn. It went from Roger Rabbit to goddamn Peeping Tom. His name was Tom.
You know what?
Sometimes
like
when
father, like son.
Yeah, he walks in on women.
Tom walks in on me in the bathroom.
No, I did it once by accident.
All the time?
Twice.
No, yeah. Well, no one told me they were in there. I mean, you locked the door.
Sometimes when your mother shows you scary things, you need to act out. Right?
But I imagine a woman shitting in Target, and then all of a sudden this little head with glasses comes under the door.
Well, isn't there's that that video that went viral like a couple of months ago where the guy is like pooping in the Chick-fil-A and the little boy is like, and he's under the stall and just talking to him. The guy's filming him like,
hilarious.
this guy is just, oh
what
my
you doing,
God.
mister?
Yeah.
Also, I'll end with the last Tommy story. So
I would be screaming. Whose fucking kid is this?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Did she say anything?
No, that's the thing. The lady was in there trying to pretend like she wasn't there.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, she was in there totally quiet.
What did Tommy say to her? He's like, "Hello?"
Nothing.
You know,
He didn't say anything. I just said, get up off the floor. And then we went outside, and he's like, I saw it. Oh, my God, how embarrassing. He didn't say it in front of her, I don't think.
So, last week we went to a hotel, and then in the hotel they have an arcade, and in the arcade they have like a win.
Humble brag.
Win
fancy pants.
So we're on this spaceship, and it's really exclusive.
They're like win tickets to get like in a card or whatever. It's like the whole the ticket win exchange for a prize thing. So I was trying to teach Tommy about like gambling. I was like, this is a good lesson because one of them was just a giant wheel that you spun.
Yeah.
And of course they have like the jackpot and then a bunch of other like numbers. So I was teaching Tommy. I was like, listen, Tommy, this I want you to know this whole thing's a waste of money. Like,
oh my gosh, he's fine.
No, but I'm trying to teach him statistics and about like this is
teaching him the important things, not about giving people privacy in bathrooms, but let's teach this kid gambling.
Well, I want to teach him like statistically, like you're never gonna hit the jackpot. I see all these tiny numbers. You're gonna hit the tiny numbers. It's a money grab for him. I'm like, he's shaking his head. He's like, okay, Dad. I'm like, so when you play this, you're not gonna win. It's like one of these things that they make it
you're not gonna win.
You can't win. That way, Daddy spends all his money, and you're never gonna get the tickets, whatever. And he's like, okay, can I spin now? And I'm like he's basically like, all right,
wants to play.
All right, old man. Spins the goddamn thing, jackpot.
Fucking wait.
There he is.
And I have a picture.
There he is, right there.
Of a straight up jackpot.
Yeah, Jackpot Tommy's his new
I
nickname.
wish he was flicking you off in that.
By the way,
he is in his mind.
I guess you're not a winner like me, Daddy.
He wasn't that excited.
Look how cute he
It was his first spin.
He don't care. He's like, I did it, and you were wrong.
Yeah. Then for the rest of the time, he was like, I could do it again every time. I'm like, of course he thinks that. So I fucked him up. He's now a gambling addict like his old man. I'm like, it's going to happen. There we go. Bet on the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, you should let him pick some lotto numbers. Maybe he'll be lucky.
And we had to stand there for 5 minutes while I counted down by one. Just give me the 500 tickets. Don't count it down. It's ridiculous. I had to stand there for 8 minutes. Some other kids want to play. I'm like, hold on, my tickets are coming.
and then they buy the ones that only cost like two tickets, like a little
spider ring,
and
one Tootsie Roll,
sticky slappy hand.
You gotta get
a bunch of junk.
Even with the jackpot, I can't get anything good.
No.
It's like I got an Army Man that cost 11 cents and something else. I was like, at least if you hit the jackpot, make the prize worth it.
Yeah.
But they don't. It's always with 500 tickets. I got an Army Man and Silly Buddy. All right, babe, I'll call you back after.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, Kristen.
Bye. I have a Chick-fil-A story from this morning. You were speaking of Chick-fil-A just real quick before we get a break. So I'm in Chick-fil-A. Well, yesterday. I went into Chick-fil-A because you and I had a meeting. And we're off to our meeting, and I went in there, and this gentleman, I had on the Tom and Dan Cabana shirt.
Uh-huh.
And I love this shirt. It's like I think it's so cool, and we waited forever for these.
The print is like the underprint.
It's like the underprint, so you can go ahead and look at that for like reference.
It's a button-down shirt. The whole shirt is that.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So I'm in there, and the guy's like, first of all, he zooms past me behind me, and he's like, I might be old, but these single dad legs are fast as ever. And he goes past, and I'm like, all right, and he comes over. So I walk up there, and I'm like, yeah, can I get just like a number one? I just want the chicken biscuit thing. And he's like, don't think I don't know, because I'm a single dad, too.
What?
And he kept, kind of laying into me on the single dad thing.
Was he trying to toe tap you?
No. No, possible. But you know what I realized is that our shirt, we designed it, is so ridiculous that people look at it and think, oh, yeah, well, this guy has no style whatsoever.
Obviously, there's no woman that's like
single dad because look at this shitty shirt he's wearing.
And he's in here at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And this guy just kept laying into me about, I'm single dad. I know, fist bump, single dads. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not a single dad. But, I mean, I don't want to say that, but, diss you for being one. Because I think that's fantastic and all, but...
Danny assumed that Daniel had a child. Maisie was not with him.
No.
Really?
That's
weird.
It's so strange.
It's because and you have a wedding ring on.
I do.
The shirt.
What the hell?
But it's so bad.
It's the shirt.
Yeah, people think they're like, no woman would let him walk out of the house with
agreed.
It's not as bad. You have some worse shirts. Than
I saw his new shirt.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's
terry
goofy.
The terry cloth is not bad. No, the cat
I thought you
one.
hated the terry cloth.
No, the cat one was.
You threw out my fucking cat
awful.
shirt. I had a shirt that had neon cats all over it, and they were doing different things like neon cat with a ball of yarn, neon cat in the yard, neon cat dancing, neon cat
sold on this shirt.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Why'd you throw it out?
Because
and you secretly threw it out.
It got a hole in it.
Yeah, it did not get a hole in it.
And I couldn't repair it.
Yeah, somebody put a Rambo knife through it while she was doing laundry.
Or accidentally spilled bleach on it.
I hate when that happens.
Dan, I got before we go to break. I had this contest I wanted to put out there. It was called hashtag Dumb Old Man.
Okay. We're doing a Dumb Old Man contest.
What? Okay, so the whole thing is every man goes through this where you believe you could do something athletically or strength wise or whatever, and because you're thinking back of how you were 10 years ago.
This is you every day.
I know. Sure. Well, I had this situation where I'm sitting at the park. I could,
Which park? The one you shouldn't be in?
Yeah. I was gonna. Yeah,
that one he's banned
He likes to take his kids to rando parks that he shouldn't be in, like
apartment complexes that he does not live in.
Apartment complexes.
Playground.
So he'll one wheel and he'll pull their wagon up and he'll be like, "Yeah, we can swim in this pool. Yeah, we can use this park. Yeah, we can play basketball here." It's like, dude, that's not your complex.
Then we'll go grab lunch at Costco.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know my stepmom, when my dad was married to my former stepmom?
Are you allowed to say this?
That's what we did.
You ate lunch at Costco?
Yes, after church on Sunday.
After church, no less.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's
what a
what
Sunday.
We did.
Wow, magnifique. Mwah.
That's Volusia County for you.
Wow, yeah.
So Daniel, I sent you the emailed you the video. So I'm sitting there at the park where the kids are playing around, and I'm looking around. There's a fire pole connected to the playground, and I don't know how we got into this, but I was talking to my wife. I was like, I bet I can climb that just with my hands all the way to the top, right?
Sure.
And then my wife's like, you can't do that shit. She always will tell me I can't do anything. But I was like, I think I can do that. It's not that hard. I should be able to. I work out a couple days a week. I should be able to. I'm not that old yet. I hand over hand pull all the way up there. She's like, no way. Anyway, she videotaped me doing it. Now, here's the thing. I barely did it, and I had to use 100% of my power, and that's what got me thinking. It's one day I'll look at that and I'll say I could do it, and I cannot.
Sure.
And everybody, so like having an accurate perception of your own strength, every man has, and figuring out what that is, and then what's too far. And so that's why I was like,
well, it's a tiny pole too. It's
it's not that impressive. I promise. I'm not doing this.
I thought you were climbing like a flagpole.
I know. I got so excited.
No, it's a tiny.
It goes 2 inches up.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
can play.
what the fuck?
Okay, here we go. Here's Tom.
But you'll see me at the last two
Should I stay here or come closer?
hand grabs. I'm barely hanging on.
You could have sharded yourself.
Oh yeah.
I like how the kids want Crystal's attention. She's like, hold on, Daddy needs
Dad's
me.
doing a trick.
Oh God.
Wait,
And flip flops. Oh,
he's
kick
kicking
them off.
those
Well, I thought you
off.
said just hands.
Yeah.
I can hear your wedding ring
I'm ready.
tapping.
She's so annoyed.
She's like, this is
I'm impressed.
I am too.
I'm
But
impressed.
right here's where
fantastic. You
Well,
did
you
it.
almost fell.
Yeah.
You almost fell.
That's good.
That was good.
It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
But,
Yeah,
Nikki, but what
I
I
was
realized,
impressed,
but
man.
here's what I realized is this is it. That's
Yeah.
the last time they were like next
I mean,
year.
you can start doing
No, it'll never happen again. Like
weightlifting or something, right?
American Ninja Warrior.
It's going to be the decline from here. Like what I thought
He's
I could
on
do.
his way.
The reason why I thought about it is I was like, in my mind could do that way easier, and it took me 100% of my strength. And the last couple grabs, I almost fell off, and then I was like, oh, that was this is the last time I'll ever be able to do this.
Yeah.
And
With the towel though, were you sore?
oh yeah, I hurt myself.
That's
I
the
pulled
tell.
tendons or something. It
'Cause
still hurts.
That's the bummer about that getting older. Is my arm?
Yeah.
It's just like so
Oh no! Did
annoying.
you do the same thing?
No, it's
there's
just
a video.
annoying.
I pull it up. Dan Cummins doing the same thing.
No, but I was like worked out stuff like that. But still, you get older, and my bicep has been jacked up, like my elbow, something in this tendon for about 2 months because of grabbing a suitcase.
Oh, okay.
But it's like now I have to think about how to lift things. So it's so sad to me.
Yeah.
Where it used to, and it's heavy. It's probably 60, 70 pounds, but still, I used to be like, whatever. Man, I can grab it. And now I'm just like, no, grab it with and then the other hand, and then use your legs.
Yeah.
I'm just like, sad.
And eventually, every man will get to the point where he still thinks he has it, or he got it, or he could do it. Like I used to joke around about this back in the day when in the radio days. I used to claim that I could beat up any man over the age of 65, and I actually boxed an old man one time, and
with a rubber foot.
Yeah, he had one leg. He didn't tell me until after, but I beat him up.
So he beat this old man up, and then afterwards he was like,
He took the rubber foot.
It was a good fight, and he pulled his foot off and put it in his duffel bag at top, and got in his lark and rode out to his van.
Gets back in his rascal, rehooks the oxygen.
Yeah. Now, by the way,
I'll see you later.
At the time, everybody was telling me that I'd lose to this old man.
Well, it was more fun to say that.
No, but people thought it. They were like, "This guy's to beat you up easily." Whatever. He used to be a boxer. He's still,
They called him Grandpa Donkey Punch.
Yeah. But it's a sad, inevitable fact that we all will. Because here's the sad part: is you'll go to try something, you'll tell your wife I could do that, and then you'll fail. Like there will be in a couple years there'll be me thinking I could do something, fail, and then it's very sad.
I know I can't. I mean, when we first started dating, actually, the skateboard thing. Where I almost broke my hip for that thing where it's and I was never good. I never was good at skateboarding, but I just still thought I'm fairly athletic, and I can do stuff. And I was at Venice Beach, and I was going to drop in.
He dropped. He dropped in all right.
One time.
I think that's years of comedian
so
confidence.
bad.
I feel like I've been on the stage enough to not care what people feel. Right. I've been in front of people. It's not a big deal.
But in your mind, you thought you could do it.
I just didn't think I would at least get hurt. So I dropped in. I only made it one time, and the skateboard went whoop, and I just cartoonishly went up in the air and then down to my hip. It was. I mean, people say black. It was truly a black brute. It was so dark, and it lasted for weeks. And I was like, I could have literally broke my hip.
When's the last time you guys have been roller skating? It's not as easy as you remember. And when you fall, you fucking hurt for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, when's the last time anybody really fell hard? That's another thing, too.
Andrea saw me on the electric skateboard in front of Maisie, and then she snort laughed again.
Other than
I hit some
him,
sort of fucking a Florida. What is that? Florida mini banana tree?
Pine cone thing.
It's like a pine cone thing that looks like a little thing of bananas, and it's smushy. It's not hard, and it got under my electric skateboard wheel. And I went, yay!
No.
And then I was like, gang! And then Maisie's like,
She's on her bike trying, just like,
yeah,
bye.
yeah, laughing. And she'll go, okay, bye-bye.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
We do, but I want to, before we get a break, I'm going to throw one thing at you because I know you love these.
Right.
And by love these, I know you hate these. My wife last night, because you don't believe in this, my wife last night woke me up. I had fallen asleep. Woke me up because she remembered that I wanted a jibber.
No way.
She's here.
You're just bragging.
I'm not. I'm not.
He told us this this morning.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent
Oh wow,
to my
he was
fire
so.
pulpit here.
Did you not wake me
It's
up?
on our show notes.
Yeah.
I
to talk
did
about.
because one, I was that time of the month, and I've been
Yes.
really sick, and so he hasn't had it in a long time, and I knew he really wanted it, but he fell like right
Look at
asleep.
Tom's mouth is
I know.
His mouth is just open.
He doesn't believe it.
So
This is like an episode of Timesuck that people are like, I don't believe any of this is happening. This is bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody's wife
This
doesn't
wakes them up for a mouth jibber.
Okay, and my thinking is
We do.
there wasn't really
That,
anything
I knew
on
it.
there wasn't really anything on TV last night, and tonight is
She
live
was bored.
and live.
Why got a bored mouth?
No, it wasn't a jibber.
Oh,
The whole
full on.
thing.
I got
thing.
the
All right.
what do you call
Midnight
it?
Express.
Yeah, I got
Midnight Express, that's new.
I got the Emperor's platter.
and tonight is live PD, and I don't want anything to interrupt that. So.
Okay, so you're pre-doing it.
scheduled it.
She's picking her gross outs.
Still,
Like an applause break.
though.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I have to plan this out, TC.
I don't think this exists
It
anywhere
was.
else.
I knew you wouldn't,
Yeah.
but I didn't think it did either. And that's the first time in our relationship that you ever. She was like, "Hey." And I'm like, what?
I'm like, is it okay if I wake you up?
And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, well, I know that you're really horny. So, like, if you want to do it right now. And I'm like, yes! Yes! Yes!
I think
I have to make him think that I'm spontaneous because I'm
Yes.
never spontaneous.
I totally get that.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
see?
and that comes up a lot. So
Look at
I
this.
planned it in my
Look at this
head.
man.
Well
Shut.
done.
even if it's
He
like,
can't even talk.
anniversaries or birthdays, I feel like my wife's mad about it. Like if I fell asleep, she's like, "Yes, he fell asleep." Listen, I know that I must be the outlier here. Butler's with me.
No, Butler looked at me when I told
Butler
this
said
story.
it. He goes,
Butler
if that happened, I would think that it's the end of the world.
It's coming.
Butler also got up to
Put
go
your Nikes on.
He went to go make the jack-off box, and he looks at me and he goes, fuck you. All right, well, let's do some more music. This is more Cashed Out. This is called Gimme Love. We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Put these sweet reggae vibes in your brain, and we'll be right back. 1-844-TOMNDAN if you'd like to call us.
When my alarm doesn't wake us up, we sleep through the morning. One cup of coffee never does enough.
Doors, we've all got them. Some are big, some are little. Some go up at the push of a button. Some you have to open. Some are to your mind. Some you come out of. And some you go inside. Talking about doors, good for your heart. The more you eat them, the more you fart. Had a brain wire. Had a wire move.
Yeah.
Had a wire fall out at the end. I got into it. I was riding the rhythm, and then one of my brain wires hit a fart wire.
Yeah.
And then
Then it went to fart.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's a Precision Door of Central Florida. They've been a sponsor for a while now, and if you have a garage door that needs repair, maybe you need a new garage door, they're giving 5% off any new garage door that you get. They're offering that Tom and Dan silent package like we all got.
I love it.
Me, you, Tony Ray, Seth Petrozelli, my neighbor Francis.
Multiple BDMs.
Your
that have told
father-in-law.
me- Well, he got a full door.
Oh, yeah.
He saved some money. Big Tim, he loves Big Tim, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Thinks Big Tim's the greatest.
And by the way, Big Tim works for Precision Door, and here's his number. It's his Precision Door number.
He
You
goes
can call,
right to Tim.
Yeah, you can call him directly. It's 1-407-710-BDMS. That's 710-2367. And that'll go straight to Big Tim, and he'll say, "Hey, baby,
Yeah.
And then you'll ask him, what do you need?
Yeah, he can come out there, give you an estimate, kind of decide. You'll get to pick from different. They have different motors. The one that we got is mine is Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It comes with the app.
It's amazing because I can, when I'm on my scooter, I don't have a garage door opener. I have one in my car, but I just use my phone. My phone's right in front of me, so I kind of look like a baller when I pull up to my garage door in my tiny little scooter. I hit a button and I just drive inside and close it down.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
You can open it from anywhere. Also, what helps is like you go on vacation, you always have the sinking feeling. You left your garage door open. Yep. You can go on the app and look, and it'll tell you if your garage door is open or closed. If it's open, you just hit close.
You can program
it. You can close it for anyone in the world.
It tells you when you leave the light on in the garage door.
Yeah.
Did you know you can turn the light, just the light on?
Yeah.
You want to freak your wife out when she's down there getting an extra thing of bubbly out of the second fridge. You hit the light real fast,
and then
scares her nightgown off.
And with the silent package that we got, not only you get that Wi-Fi motor, but they put special bearings, like plastic bearings,
with some sleeves over the wheels.
Yeah, the sleeves, and then so your whole garage door is super quiet. So if you have this noisy ass garage door, then you can redo the motor.
So no more noise, no more creaking, no more rattling. My old door would shake the house because it was unbalanced. These guys, this is all that they do. They're just garage door guys. And
one of their employees will show up at your
in
house.
a van or a truck that
a precision
says
door.
So you don't have to worry about any type of weirdness.
Yeah, there's no subcontractor that's going to show up with a ladder on his roof and be like, hey, I'm Precision Door.
Nope.
Like, no, it's their employees. And by the way, they're always hiring because they're a growing company. So if you want a good job, we know a lot of BDMs that work in there right now.
Including our good friend Big Tim.
Yeah. So
407-710-BDMS.
Yeah, it's Precision Door of Central Florida.
That is Cashed Out, Give Me Love. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer that keeps getting walked in on, is here.
It happened again?
Jesus.
We just talked about this.
Christ,
God
man.
damn it.
Really?
Really? Now, here's the thing.
You get an extra long plug at the end of the show today.
Wait a minute. I don't want to be plugged.
No plug.
Already been walked in
Look,
on.
we need at least 3 to 5 new Patreons to make up for the amount of abuse that you take at the hands of Tom and Butler.
Here's the thing. I feel like
I'm the good one.
I feel like as a criminal, you feel some sort of redemption when the person, for instance, if someone's car gets broken into 500 times, you're like, why so many times? Like, what are they doing?
Victim shamers. Fucking victim shamers.
I'm just saying, why does this happen so much to you, Samantha? I'm not saying you're causing
conspiracy. There should be a time suck about it.
If it keeps on
the
happening,
longest time suck ever. My God, they don't want to handle that.
What's happening here that's causing this to
I told you guys
happen to
I want an occupied sign to put on the door because the lock is faulty.
I'm just going to get you one of those sticks that my grandma had where there was like a V that went under the doorknob and then there was a nubby
like
foot.
the thing they had in New York.
No, but it opens out. So it would have to be on the outside of the bathroom, which does me no good.
What if we tied a rope?
And I hold it while I'm pissing?
You're fighting with it. I want to see it.
I feel like the sign would be easier.
Yeah, it's a lot. You don't want to get yanked off the toilet while you're shitting. That would be bad.
I feel like after a while of you requesting the sign and us not doing anything and this continue to happen, like there's a case here.
Yeah,
there's a you're building a strong case.
I'm going to email Friendly Ray Friendly.
Yeah, don't email. Has anybody tried his sausage?
Yeah. No, I'm going to fry it up tomorrow.
Oh, I bet you are. Don't put that in the file. Don't put that in the file. I couldn't help myself. I had to.
That'll help. Be like, Judge, he could not help himself. Like, you know what? Case dismissed.
When asked if Samantha had tried Friendly Ray Trinley's sausage, the little one replied, "Oh, I bet you have." In which the big one that giggled in his jack-off box. This is not looking good.
And then our lawyer's like, Judge, they got a box so you wouldn't see anything. That's the whole point. You just see the shaking. And
I like that you get a box so I don't get to see you jack off, but you walk in on me pissing all the time.
Pissing box.
I'll
rebrand
take it.
it. Butler. Butler, it's a pissing box now. Change the sign.
You need to cut a big tunnel off the back to fit over the tank.
Yeah. And then
I'll take it.
Then you put it on, and then you because everybody knows girl streams are
then
more
you can just
steady
leave
than
the
ours.
door open. Put the pissing box on.
Doors open. You guys got the idea? Show meeting. I'm in the pissing box.
Hard to get to the toilet paper though.
No,
we'll put it
build
in there. I'll build it in there. There'll be a little I'll stab a chopstick through, and then if I hit it on the corner, I can get both edges and put the toilet paper in the center.
Then we can put a Glade, like a stick-on plug-in in there.
You're getting too crazy. Light, like a tap light, in there. Why don't we put a fucking iPad in there with Netflix on it?
Then it turns into the second bathroom, and they just piss in the floor.
Piss in the box. It's in the courtyard.
Just give me a litter box at this point.
Litter's full.
Butler's been shitting in Samantha's litter box again. Butler, that's only for girls. I don't care. I'm Butler. I'm high.
I know we only got a limited amount of time.
Yeah, we'll do a couple voicemails.
Let's do some mail on mail.
By the way, the Lynze and Dan have left. They've had a long day.
I love those guys.
Go see them tonight or tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, go see them and support them. They're just beautiful people. God, I have tears in my eyes. That hurt. I didn't finish my shot.
Hey guys, thanks for calling 1-800-DICK, the place to find real action with real men. To make it even better, we've got new low prices. So low, we're practically giving it away free.
If you are a man seeking a woman, press 1. If you are a woman seeking a man, press 2. If you are a man seeking a man, press 3.
Mail on mail.
Mail on Mail brought to you by Tom and Dan Watering Holes. We just added a couple different watering holes. That's basically our bar partners. They're all over the state of Florida, somewhere outside of the state. One being Cigar City Brewery's tap room.
I cannot believe, you've been, I don't want to tease anything or put the cart before the horse, but you've been doing a lot of Cigar City Brewery talking lately.
Yeah, well,
have you not?
Well, we've partnered with them, and they are one of our craft beer sponsors now officially.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
So we'll be doing some cool things with them. But we're also we decided to open it up and have multiple brewery sponsors because people drink all different types of craft beer. It's not like the old days of I only drink Coors Banquet beer. It's
craft beer. Craft beer guys like variety.
Yeah,
they go all around the even the globe.
So we
try and track down tasty beers.
Yeah, we've been talking to other breweries around Florida, and if you are or know a brewery that wants to partner with us, just shoot us an email and we'll get in touch with you. And we're still in the midst of working with a couple other breweries as well. And as soon as they sign on, we'll let you know. But you could check all our partners out at Tom and Dan Watering Holes.
We even got one in New Hampshire.
Also, real quick, just to pardon me, address it because we don't get to it very often because our show is structured a little differently than most shows. But you can watch all of our shows on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. I'd like to give some love to Trucker69 who just tipped us out, Lingar1 who tipped us out. Let's see who Bubba Light gave a lot of dough. Tactical Hat made up for your gambling losses.
Swervy cheered us for No Joke Fridays.
Yeah, Swervy cheered us, and he always does. For those of you that are in the Twitch chat room, thank you guys. It does not we see it, we just can't always.
Yeah,
it's new to us to throw that into conversations.
Yes.
It's weird. I'm not good at it.
Speaking of Swervy Jones, he does all our cartoons, and if you go on YouTube and just search Mediocre Tunes.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of cartoons that basically we've taken clips of the show and Swervy Jones have turned them into mini cartoons, and you could check them all out on YouTube. But there's a lot of funny
if you
ones.
want a custom cartoon, Dan Cummins has a cartoon of his stand-up where he addresses a certain issue with his children. You can find that on his website. But Swervy does that. That's his job. So if you want to help him out, if you need a cartoon, if you need branding, if you need some help in the podcast arena, I'm sure Swervy would be more than happy to help you out.
And I did say hundreds. I think it's over 100, right?
Yeah.
It's not hundreds, but it's over 100.
Well, if it's like 105, that's hundreds, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think hundreds.
Well, 100, there's 100,
100.
and then 101 is hundreds.
Is that how it works?
I think that's how it works.
All right. So take that, Mud Butler.
Or does it need to be 200?
We have 115.
So if it's 200, that's hundreds because it's double hundreds?
I think so, yeah.
That makes sense.
So over 100. Anyway, let's first email.
Oh, okay.
I can go first. You want me to go first?
What a
You just
coincidence.
got violated. I can.
Dear Tom and Dan, so funny story. My boyfriend has never listened to the show as he's not much of a podcast guy, but I tell him about it all the time. Well, today we had a rare day off together and decided to indulge in a day at one of the water parks with some complimentary passes. So on the drive from downtown Orlando out to the park and back, he got to finally experience an episode. And that episode just happened to be the infamous Shark Week. Needless to say, he loved it while also finally realizing the ridiculousness and vulgarity that I listen to all the time and rave about. Anyways, fast forward to this evening, we decided to end our great day with taking our dogs on a nice walk around Lake Eola and enjoy the spoils of living 3 blocks away from it.
Dig it.
It was beautiful outside. We stopped and got ice cream and all around had a lovely time. Until we were about 10 minutes from home when he said, "Oh shit, I'm about to fart and I can already feel the wetness." Luckily, we were able to speed walk home and avoid a shitty situation, literally. A long central, but the irony of the day was not lost on him. While holding it all in, he did not fail to exclaim, "Well, it is Shark Week after all." So just wanted to share since you guys clearly made an impression on him. Not that I completely know if it's the right one or not. And we got some great laughs all day from you guys. Love the show and appreciate you both and the whole crew.
You gave us a new listener prize. You get a jack-off box.
Also, it's supposed to be heartwarming, but I'm ashamed by it. You know that?
Really? You're bringing people together with sharks.
I have a confession. I have a confession to make. This morning, I went upstairs to ride my Peloton.
Yeah.
Howard Stern now is a Peloton man.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But I did it first. I just want the record reflect that, he's a better broadcaster, but I hit that trend sooner.
So you, an almost 70-year-old man.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost a 70-year-old man. So I went up there and I did my ride and did my stretching because I do a cool down. I do a warm up ride, a 45-minute ride, a cool down ride, and then I do stretching.
Okay.
To keep myself limber, and after stretching, I wipe the bike down with my. Andrea has a whole thing we got to do. You got to wipe it with a towel.
What are you wiping it down for?
Do it sweaty as fuck.
Yeah,
it's
your own sweat.
Yeah, but no, like
you're not a Planet Fitness.
No, but
bro, they share it though.
Yeah, but to preserve the integrity of the bike too, I don't want the salty sweat corroding anything.
It gets gross.
Yeah,
no, it's fine.
This guy's
You're disgusting.
You are disgusting.
You also work out barefoot. Fucking
That's
gross.
She's right. She's had a couple white claws. She started slapping you around.
It's not going to corrode the bike.
No, it will.
Sweat.
It will, and absolutely will.
No.
It's salt water, dude.
No,
it's not good for the bike. So I wipe it down, and then I throw my wipes into the toilet upstairs, and I flush it, and then I went to fart, and I shit my cycling pants.
Okay, all right.
I did.
Yeah, that's...
it's not good. Right on the padding. And I'm like, I don't know if I can wear these again.
What is that padding for? It's for
your ass.
You don't develop... beehole problems?
It just gets sore.
Yeah, you just get like your what is it? Your sits bone or whatever's back there, like
your taint.
Yeah, I think I'm good though now. Like even Andrea said, like I don't think you need the riding shorts anymore because like you've been doing it for so long now. You can just go to regular like action shorts.
Why not put the pad in the seat and not in the pants?
You can do that, but like it also changes how like you want to be correctly measured or fit, they call it, for the bike.
Yeah.
So the padding could like change the amount of like how far, like you want your legs to be down. Like if you put your right leg completely down, like you're finishing a pedal, you want it to be slightly bent, and you want your foot to be like relatively flat.
Can't you just change the height of the seat?
You can, but like imagine if you put like, I'm not a big fan of the gel cushions or any of that. Like I like a true seat, a true saddle as they call it.
Or isn't the gel
it just moves around too much? It could be, but I'm not into that. Like I'd rather have it on me and then have the seat the same.
I don't know anything about cycling, but I'm just a logic man. So I'm just like, put the pad. I don't want to wear any like padded, bike shorts and all that
Why?
nonsense.
He doesn't even want to wear shoes.
Yeah. I don't even, I wear sandals and a polo when I work. Yesterday I worked out. I took my button-down shirt off and I worked shirtless.
Did you work out in your jeans?
Jeans.
You worked out shirtless in jeans?
There's no one in there.
Swamp clown. Swamp clown.
No, but like our trainer's in there. That's embarrassing.
It's too tight.
Our
he
trainer
knows me. He knows.
I'm going to tell him to lose you as a client. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
I'm sure he wants to, but I've scared away all his other clients. So he has no choice.
Here is a voicemail.
You guys ever go to do something what you think is going to be a good deed and turns out feeling worse after you do it? Pull up to the gas station. There's this guy there. I notice he's not pumping any gas. He's kind of standing there looking at the pump. I see him, do this move where he like just like for half a second, just squeezes some gas in there, and he stops. Then he's walking around, digging in the trash, pulls out a couple bottles, goes back to his car, pumps a couple like a quick squeeze, and does it again. And I'm like, oh man, this guy's so down in his luck that he's pulling bottles out of the trash so he can return them for 5 cents a piece. And he's, that's only the amount of gas he can afford to spend. So I was like, I'm going to go help this guy out. So I walk over. I'm like, hey, man. I was like, you need some help filling your tank or whatever? And he's like, huh? And I said, you need help, filling your tank? I said, I don't have any cash, but I'll swipe my card, and you can fill your gas tank. And he looks at me, and he's all disgusted. And he's like, no, he said the tank's broken. And he says you can only pump like a certain amount, and then you got to stop. I got to give it like a good 10 seconds. He goes, then I can pump a little bit more. He goes, if not, I try to just hold the trigger down, it just kicks out or whatever. But he was not happy that I thought he needed help filling this gas tank up. And it wasn't like he was driving a super nice car. He was driving like a Honda or something. It had a big dent in it. Anyway, that's the last time I do that. All right, guys. Love the show.
That's one of my favorite things is that you're assuming that the person is worse off than they are, and then you insult them by trying to help. It's great.
I've there's been a couple times in my life I've walked by someone and I assumed they were homeless. If you sit down and with your back against the wall in public, I assume you're homeless. Anywhere, no matter what you're wearing, by the way.
Anywhere.
If I walk in, if it's a city setting and you're sitting down in public, back against the wall, I'm like, oh, homeless guy. Then I will try to give you money.
If you're near a statue or a memorial.
Anything. If you sit down in public on the floor, I'm like homeless.
We know that you took a rest because you're sick of pushing your shopping cart, and then pretty soon you're going to have to go back and feed the dog with goggles that's sitting in the front basket.
You're down in your luck. Now you sit on the curb, then I'm like, I don't know, could be a teenage skater kid. Could be a kid scenario.
Sam and I were arguing about teenage skater kids earlier.
What about what?
You weren't arguing. You're complaining like an old grandpa.
These punks hang out by the subway and they can't ollie worth a shit. They're going to rocket their fucking boards into me and my daughter's shins.
Oh, okay.
And I'll fucking punch your 12-year-old ass.
He's like, these punks are skateboarding everywhere.
Yeah, I stand behind that.
I kick you, but my legs are
they're grumpy old men.
From Peloton
just be look, if you know how to skate, then go skate. But if you don't know how to skate, then don't stand in front of the subway and rocket your board into my shins.
Well, how is that learn
somehow?
Well, then not in front of the subway. Get out in the streets.
Nobody's going to Subway anymore.
No, go up there right now. Those motherfuckers, those punks are out there right now. I guarantee it.
Those punks.
We'll do voicemail. Oh, no. Email.
Double voicemail.
I was listening to a recent Castaway episode of A Corporate Time where the old army guy was declared dead while he was captured.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
This got me thinking, when this kind of thing happens, if a life insurance company paid out for the death and then it turns out that the person wasn't actually dead, do they try to recoup the money or do they just take it as a loss?
Oh, that's a good
Thought
question.
it might be a decent show topic to discuss. Love the show. Keep up the good work. That is a good question. I need to ask old Kramer about that.
It probably happens so rarely, but I think once the government issues you a death certificate, then the life insurance has to pay off as long as it's not
and
like
it's
foul play.
possible he didn't have life insurance, right?
Yeah, because he was in the army.
young, probably.
Yeah, young.
I don't have life insurance right now.
But I think the army, no matter what,
If I die, my husband's screwed.
yeah. Well, without kids,
about it.
I never had life insurance before kids. Like, yeah, you'll be
Well, I'm not
fine.
going to have kids, so.
Yeah, you don't need it.
All right.
Because here's the thing, like, you want your husband to be rich now after you die?
Nah,
Because then
let him be poor.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to bounce back if you're rich. You buy a house, you got money, now the girls start coming around.
He's still good looking, though, so he'd probably still score some pussy.
He's
hot.
he's hot.
Lower tier, though, because he's poor.
He's hot. He could score some dick, too, if he's interested in like a young podcaster.
A lot of guys are into him. It's weird.
Or not. Like a middle-aged podcaster with a baby.
Because you want your death to be a hindrance on his life.
Yeah.
Like, then he has to pay for, like, all the funeral costs, and it really puts him in the
He's not
poorhouse.
gonna throw me a funeral. Is that what you call it? Throw a funeral? Plan a funeral? I don't know. He won't. He'll just burn me up. It's fine.
Well, it still costs money.
That's true.
Yeah, which is way more than it should to burn someone up.
Unless you get turned over to the state and then it's free. Taxpayers pay for it.
What? Yeah, but you got to prove. It's hard to do that, I think.
It happened to my dad.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's
I think it was the city of Jacksonville, actually.
It's a weird thing because to that or for that to happen, like the rest of the family has to like put their arm up and be like, I'm not doing it. Like, you have to like because if no one does it, then the state's like, fuck. All right, we'll pay for it.
Oh yeah.
But
that's a grift, guys. You want to grift a fucking to get your dad burned up?
Yeah.
Just don't claim them.
And but it's a
Kill
shitty
afterwards.
thing because you have to tell the funeral parlor or the state or whoever, like, I don't have the money to pay for it, or
Actually,
I'm not gonna...
they didn't contact anybody.
Really?
Yeah, so
because usually they
not that we would have paid for a funeral or anything, but
usually they
contacted me to pick up the ashes.
Oh, really?
They'd already done it. Yeah.
Did you go?
Yeah.
Juan took the words out of my mouth. He was like, "Who decided to call it a parlor?" Because there's ice cream
question.
parlors, funeral parlors,
barbershop parlor.
Those are the 180s, right? Like
tattoo parlor.
Yeah, tattoo parlor.
What consists of a parlor? Like, I feel like every parlor should have a waiting room, some sort of seats.
I'm waiting for my dad to be burned up.
Some sort of like seat. Yeah, some
Parlor
sort of like
literally means a sitting room in a private house.
So, can you have a parlor in your house?
Yeah, absolutely, you can. I think that's where it started.
Or a room in a public building for receiving guests.
Yeah.
I have a haberdasher in my house. Right?
So, is our like
so you
lobby
build hats in your house?
Yeah, that's our parlor.
That's what I do.
So our lobby's considered a parlor?
Yeah.
Let's start calling it that.
Please have a seat in our parlor.
Please have a seat in our parlor. Have a drink. We have a White Claw. We have a bunch of whiskeys people have brought us. Might be poison. We don't know.
Yeah. Butler tried it. He's not dead yet.
Yeah, he will be soon. He's looking rough. All right, let me get this. Hold on. You want? I will exit out. Hold on. I got one for you. Hold on. It's coming. Here it is.
Yo, BDM Neil here. I'm changing some laundry over here. I'm listening to some music, and I'm listening to What's the Difference with Dr. Dre. And I think you guys, like, as a community of BDM, stuff like that, we've addressed this before, I think. I don't remember, because obviously we all smoke a lot of ganja. And do you guys, when you're, like, into your song, and it's like, gangster rap or whatever, do you guys say the N-word while you're rapping and everything? Like, obviously not... when maybe we are under comfortable friends or not like out in public or whatever, but do you say the N-word like by yourself? I'm listening and I'm just like saying it out loud. My daughter's watching a movie, Descendants 3 or whatever on Disney, and like literally I just want to know, you guys do that? Love you guys. Peace.
You're listening to gangster rap while your kid's watching Descendants 3?
Like, if I'm doing karaoke, no. If I'm in my car, yes.
Yeah.
Because I want to do it the way that it was written. It'd be like me not honoring Brian Wilson's Beach Boys. Yeah. Like if I sang it wrong, like if I'm singing some Beach Boys, you gotta sing it the way...
Yeah, you're not going to sing the edited version of it. No. Who the fuck does that?
No.
Yeah, like, shame on the N-word who tried to run game on the N-word. Yeah. what are you doing? You're like so PC.
That's the only rap reference Tom ever had.
It's one of his greatest quotes.
I know my N-word songs.
Okay.
I
gotta get out.
I know my N-word songs. Go to the bathroom. I'll open the door. And get in the jack-off box.
Get in the pee-pee box.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you're so PC and uptight that while you're like doing a rap song in your car and you refuse to say the end, like, come on, you're ridiculous. I understand about not saying it in front of other people, and I don't think anybody would call you racist for doing it, right?
Somebody would.
Yeah, somebody would.
Yeah, well, they're
in this day and age, though. People.
People are idiots, but like they're not.
No,
you wouldn't be
they're
racist.
not idiots, but they like drama. So you're with your friends and you're at a Big Daddy's right up here, one of the greatest karaoke bars in Orlando, and you're doing "Forgot About Dre" or whatever.
That's different.
And you throw the N-word in there a couple times, and then
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in your car without anybody listening. When you're at a karaoke bar,
is that bad though? Like, think about it at the karaoke bar.
The problem is your intent is questioned at that point, because then it's like, are you doing it? Are you using the song to do this?
No. My intent is to perform the song to the best of my ability, and the way that Dr. Dre wrote the song, he put the N-word in there.
Well,
so if I perform it the way he intended, going back to my Brian Wilson thing, am I the bad guy?
It is a weird argument because it's like, okay, Dr. Dre knows that
it's awkward.
Like all races
It's
are going
awkward,
to listen to this song, so only certain people can
say
sing
the
along.
word.
Yeah,
right.
But
That's weird.
But the problem is, it goes back to you're
We're
saying
also a bunch of white people trying to.
Yeah, right.
decipher what's
I don't know.
appropriate,
Listen,
so-
I don't know what's appropriate.
Yeah, but I'm not getting that deep.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, I'm not getting that deep. Like, look, I understand that that's a horrible word. I get it. I can never feel what someone who has ever had that slur thrown at them would feel in the moment.
Of course.
It's got to be fucking terrible.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, you know.
We're not.
I'm on
saying what's
easy
right or wrong.
street.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
I'm a fucking blonde white guy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck? I get easy street. But my point is, if you go there and you're singing it, and you're like, and you like the music, should you be hung out to dry because you did it?
Well, the thing
should you have to censor it? Like, I guess that would be the question.
I
Not to get,
would,
like-
yes. I wouldn't say it out in a karaoke setting, and because maybe you, I know your close
think I
friends.
have said it in a karaoke setting. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. I mean, I think I have been up there, and I think I've done.
Well,
what
it's
is it? I think I've done "Ain't Nothing But a G Thing," and done it the way that it was intended. But I wasn't trying to yell the N-word to
Sure.
be racist.
Pre 2006, fine. After that,
Yeah, you might be right. No, you might be right. Because things do change. The pendulum swings.
Your
you know?
friends and family knows you're not racist, but strangers don't. So then it goes back to intent. Like, yeah, you're saying your intent is that, but then if you're there and someone's doing that for the wrong intent that you don't know, then it's disrespectful.
But would a Nazi really get up on the stage, or a racist get up on the stage and then rap a blatantly?
I think they would be a troll. Yeah,
Really?
Like, well, they're dumbass pieces.
I mean,
of shit.
jokes
with
on them.
trolls.
You're singing a black guy song. So
Yeah.
jokes on you, turd.
But you know what I'm saying?
you know, like you're singing a black guy song. Well done. You know, you're an idiot. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
like-
racist people are idiots. You know,
agree. But
That's
I'm
why
just, I'm just saying, like, maybe if we all looked at it, maybe we, as the collective, need to change the way we look at it instead of making. Like, I just wish it would be easier for people to look at that and be like, yeah, it's like, just go and be who you are, and we know who you are, and the likelihood of a racist getting up there and rapping seems to me to be a lot less. Okay, here's what I would say. Racist rapping with the N-word to be mean is far less likely than white guy clueless rapping and then, oops, should I have not said that? You know what I mean?
You're right. It's just then it's like disrespectful to everybody in the room.
It's
if
a
they're not
disrespectful word.
If you're around stranger, even if you're
Gangster
around,
rap is disrespectful by its design.
Sure.
Yeah,
But then you get into the argument of, you say, like, be who you are, whatever, everyone knows your intentions. But if you're singing this song and you're saying that word, and then you go up to your friend and you're like, what up, my...
I would
is
never
that
do that,
acceptable?
though. No,
where's the line? You know, there's
Well,
got to be a line here.
I get you, but...
Because then there is a culture of white people that will say that, or Hispanic people as well, as if it is normal, and it's not looked well upon a lot of the times by the black community. So it's like, but they think it's okay because they're like, well, I'm not racist. I mean it like the, hey, what's up, homie? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
there's some blurred lines here.
Yeah. It's listen.
Yeah.
It's a topic we shouldn't even talk about. Also, it depends
Joke Fridays.
It depends on how you're dressed. If you got long and one jean or
Then
like
it's okay.
basketball shorts, I'll be like, oh, okay, this guy.
Hey, is Ghost Legs 420? Is that Randy? Is that our buddy Randy?
I don't know.
who's married to Chelsea?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because he says, Chelsea won't let me rap the word when we are in the car. This happens to be a white man married to a black woman. Okay.
I said by yourself.
No, but I understand. Like that. That is a really, really, really fucking bad word. But it just happens to be in like, I don't know. I don't want to get the percentage wrong.
A lot of
let's say
popular songs.
70% of popular rap.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Just always lean towards not saying it. If you ever have a question,
but what do you do? But what do you do?
It's like if you're a gambler, always bet the underdog.
Do you say ninja? Do you skip it? Do you what do you do? What would you do? You're on stage and you're doing ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
No, I wouldn't pick that one. I pick I like big butts. I like every other white nerd dad.
What's that?
I like big butts.
My god!
Like I do the corny.
You don't even know the name of it.
You know what I meant.
It's Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I want you to do back that ass up instead.
Yeah, you pick the song without that in
There's
there.
N-words in
there. Yeah,
okay.
Oh, Ghost Legs is Randy. Randy, I'm glad you weighed in. Yeah, that's interesting because it's a divisive word. It's terrible, but I don't want to think that just because you're saying it because you're doing karaoke that you're necessarily a racist. Man,
No, it doesn't mean you're a racist.
It doesn't mean that.
Yeah, but
you need to be maybe more aware of your
it's just being aware of.
But I wish there were. I do wish because like when you go to do karaoke, normally not sober. Wouldn't it be nice if there was like a guideline that we all kind of agreed upon about like, okay, you're going up there, you've had 3 drinks, you're feeling good. Here's what we condone and don't condone. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not going to get yourself into a sticky situation.
They probably don't
most people are so drunk that's not going to do any good.
They probably don't even allow you
it's
to
probably
choose
edited
those songs.
Yeah.
I bet
I can't imagine that the karaoke company would write the N-word out. Like,
no. Right.
And they put the little line under it to tell you to say it. Like,
I bet you if you asked any karaoke DJ, they won't let you sing any songs, or rap any songs with that word in there because they've probably had this problem before. I imagine this is not the first time anybody's thought of this this question. So and just stay away from it, white people. Just come on.
Stay in your lane.
It is easier. It's way easier.
Nothing good will come from it.
I'm willing to die on this hill.
What good will come from it? Just don't pick the Wu-Tang song.
86, the David Allen Coe and stay out of both those guys.
You want to do one more email and get out of here, buddy?
Yeah.
Alrighty. For several years, I've been wanting to check out Secret's Hideaway to be naked and try out the lifestyle. We finally went this past weekend, and now all I hear in my head is Tom saying, "How do you eat your cereal in the morning?" or whatever his variation of that is.
Oh, he traumatized?
I guess.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you do something...
Or is he ashamed of himself? I don't know. I'm not sure of the context there.
It's probably you get it burned into your head. I've been to nudist resorts, and usually it's not the best-looking people there. The best-looking people don't want to be nude that often in front of a bunch of other people. So it's usually old people, and that's about it. And they, it's just shocking. Like, then you get quickly used to it, which is bizarre. Like when we're in hedonism, whatever, everybody's naked. It's like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, totally normal.
I went to a nude beach in Europe, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But you get used to it.
Nothing. It was not what I imagined.
Dude, when we saw Dan Cummins out and he was hosting the Playboy thing, like there was topless girls, like that they brought into the show or whatever, and they were in like the green room. They were like, they didn't bother to put their tops back on. They were still topless. Like I remember being like a little kid, like seeing it.
It was weird.
In my head, I was trying to be cool.
I was trying to eat like a bag of Teddy Grahams.
Teddy Grahams.
Yeah, no, I remember. And then I go to get the bag of Teddy Grahams, and they're in there like adjusting whatever, and their titties are out and they're nude, and like I'm like. But you fucking weird. Man.
But you get used to it fast. Like in 5 minutes, it was like, all right.
Sexiness is gone real quick.
Yeah. It's a weird thing.
It's a meme of fucking drying herself off. It was gross.
But then if you're at a strip club, right? Sexiness stays because it's
true. But then
more attractive people.
I've been at strip clubs before, and I'm like drinking beer, and I'm looking at with the stripper, and then I find myself wandering off and looking at the neon sign, the pool table, like I'm not
Well,
looking
you
at
have
my
ADD.
phone.
Have you been since you've been on your Adderall? Because things might be different now.
Hyper focus.
I think Tom would agree with this because, like, you guys talk about strip clubs and us going there, and the last time you and I did together probably was the one in Daytona, no, it was the one in Las Vegas where the old lady dropped us off. Remember?
Yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where it's like it's not the nude girl, it's not the club, it's not the booze, it's the combination of all of that together that makes it work, right? And I don't need more or less of anything. I actually need it just to stay exactly where it is. I don't need the girl to be flopping her titties and sucking them, getting more nude or what. Like, no. It's the allure of what it is. It's hard to explain. It's like we want to be two men that go to a club and then a girl like pulls her tits out and is dancing nicely, not weird. And I don't need a lap dance. I don't need anything crazy. It's the allure of something being just slightly naughty, and that's all I need. And then I'm good. And you can pull that. No, I don't need any of that. I just need a cold beer and then a little bit of naughty, and then it's perfect. But like everybody wants it to be more than it is, and they're killing the vibe. Of the strip club. Like, I think you would agree with that, right? Like, when you and I go, we just want, even if they were just in a bikini, just swirling around, you know, ice cold beer, attractive woman in a bikini, like, it's just the allure of that.
Well, yeah, and going back to like how you as a human being, like mentally, were able to get used to things like pretty quick, and that's what makes me think. Like, you know, people say like, oh, if I ever got paralyzed, I'd kill myself because then I'm, you know, not worth living.
Joke's
like that.
on you. You can't. You're paralyzed.
Well, it's like you'll be surprised how quickly you get used to shit.
I can't hold my breath long enough.
Like when I cut the tendon into my pinky and I like really couldn't use my right hand. Like I remember thinking to myself,
that's
when
the
it
day
first
you became Pinky Man.
when it first happened, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be horrible. Like I got used to using my left pretty quick. Like you get used to it, and
it's like me changing my wiping hand. I'm way better on my left than I was ever on my right.
You're just like
way more efficient.
Yeah, like this is life now. I can have fun, you know. Anyway. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, thanks to Dan and Lynze Cummins for coming by the show. You can see them this weekend at the Orlando Improv, theimprovorlando.com for tickets. That's the easiest way to snag them. Anything else to plug, my friend?
We'll have our straw hats on Monday at 6 up on the website to buy.
Timesuck this Sunday with Dan Cummins. Get your tickets for that. Also, we do have a BDM Back to School supply meetup happening on Sunday, August 18th from 11 to 2 p.m. at Johnny's Other Side. They're going to have a tent and a table set up. They're going to be gathering school supplies as well as donations. So head out there, Johnny's.
I'll pop by and I will drop off some school supplies.
There's also a thread in the BDM group. So if you find that thread, there's also a PayPal that you can direct donate to.
What?
You all right, buddy?
Well, I was gonna say indeed, but I was like,
what's happening in watering holes? Hey, I got some watering hole stuff going on. The slide-in out in Daytona. No, it's actually Coco.
Yes.
Which is Tiffany's sister spot. They're having a benefit for Al's, which is actually, he's going through some bone marrow transplant recovery. So on August 11th from 12 p.m., they got famous barbecue pulled pork cornhole tournament from 2 p.m. They got a 50-50 raffle. Cigar City actually has a beer and barbecue thing going on from 4 to 10 tomorrow. That's actually with barbecue time, some, I guess, a food truck out there.
Is that the tap room?
That's going to be actually at the Spruce Street location, which is actually their main brewery location.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And then Celery City Craft out in Sanford from 8 to 11. They have Ryan again with Honey Pot, a two-party system, Dog Day Afternoon, and more, jamming out. They're going to have some alternative rock. They also have Drafts and Laughs at Celery City at 8:15 on 8:15. At 8:30 from 11:30, it's going to be a bunch of comedy hosted by Leslie Joe.
Oh, nice.
So they got some good stuff going on with that. No covers, but tips and gas money are always appreciated.
Cool. Also, Tuffy's Bottle Lounge. I'm going to be at August 24th. I think it starts at 7 p.m.
I'm coming to hang with you, buddy.
10. The craft beer enthusiast group is going to be out there hanging out. BYOCB, all their listeners are coming out to hang out. So we'll be out there. I'll be playing some shuffleboard. I'll bring a bunch of merch prizes to give away if you beat me. So that's at Tuffy's Bottle Shop and Lounge on August 24th, starting at 7 p.m. All right.
Yep. Great job, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And anything else?
That's it.
We will see you next week.
Hold on, fellas. Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
And now it's time for the Tom and Dan end of the show footnotes. Today you heard music from
Cashed Out. Now, I had the music all set, and I was ready to go, and then I realized that the band Cashed Out, friends of the show, they've been in here, they've played acoustic on our airwaves. They have a brand new album out called Undercover. And I had Samantha reach out to them, and I was like, man, it's the end of the summer. Parents are happy because kids are going back to school. So, you know what? I'm calling an audible, and I'm doing all Cashed Out for today, sort of like ushering back in the actual regular part of the year and easing out of the summer. So you heard 4 new tracks from Cashed Out from their brand new album, Undercover. I would urge you to go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, stream it, buy it, play it, support these guys. They're local. You heard Good at Getting By. That was the first song you heard. The second song you heard was Weed Man, which arguably my favorite. I believe it features Edley Shine on secondary vocals, which is fucking dope. After that, you heard Blind, one of my other favorite songs from the album, and we closed everything out, easing ourselves out of summer and back into the kids going to school with Give Me Love. Again, this is all off of Cashed Out's brand new album called Undercover. Have a great weekend, guys. There will be no Cut It Out because you can stream this music. I don't need to tell you any more about it. And out of respect to these guys, you know, I would like to actually help them by pushing people to stream the music from all of your music streaming platforms. And on that note, guys, we'll see you on Monday for the big BDM and OG show.
Original Dr. Green.